Lisa, we ready?
Ready?
All right. Go ahead and call to order the July 19th, 2018 City Council Workshop, Budget Workshop. First up on our agenda, we have Delta Water Company. We have anyone here from Delta Water that would like to?
They're here, and I'll do a brief introduction real quick. I mentioned at the last meeting that I had spoke with them, and had a meeting lined up with them for this week. Had a meeting with them. They actually gave a proposal, which is in front of everybody. Some of the differences in this compared to the other one is this is a fixed cost, not a percentage rate for 3 years, which I'm in favor of that. Not only do they use the computer side to look at all the numbers and go out and check, they actually do a physical audit on every meter, give you GPS coordinates on it, which would be good in talking to Jerry and Potts for the Public Works to go locate them if they ever have a storm, debris, or anything. That would be a good benefit. They helped Waveland, found them a couple $100,000 a year in revenue for the same kind of contract. So it's very possible to find a lot of money for little cost, and I think it would be a real good alternative. I think at the end of the day, we can get to the same endpoint we want. It would just be a different route and a better route to where the city would keep more of the newfound money instead of the contract company get most of the money. So if y'all want to give a little bit of introduction, this is Rodney and Kathy with Delta Water. I'll let them give a little introduction, a little history of the company.
Thanks.
Delta Water is 21 years old. We're a water conservation company. And about 15 years ago, we got into the water meter and the audit side of with the municipality. So here in the state of Louisiana, I guess we've probably done 30, 40 towns, cities in this, what is that? I'm sorry, Mississippi. Waveland, we stayed in Waveland probably about 4 years, doing a in-depth audit for those guys, looking at every meter, GPSing, and I think Kathy wound up finding anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000 in new revenue for Waveland. We did the average. That was a huge project for us where we installed the meters for those guys, but we found enough revenue, and I think it was pretty close to 375, 400,000. So we could put in new meters for the town we have. We did Pensacola, Pascagoula, quite a few towns here, close on the coast. I guess technique is pretty simple, unique. We like to get in and look at everything. We want to, find all the different large meters, look at the large meters, the small meters, do a statistical sampling and stuff like that.
Now, what is your all service fee? What do you all charge?
The agreement is $38,000 for one full year, and that's it. It does not, the only change on this is if you wanted us to change any meters that were broken or any MIUs while we were out doing all of this. Other than that, this doesn't change regardless of what we find.
Is that whether y'all find something or not? $38,000?
We're gonna find $38,000.
And that's payable, 12 monthly installments,
Yes.
We just
Yeah.
found $38,000.
3167
Year
a month.
2 and
Yeah.
year 3, you would reap that benefit.
Yeah.
You know, so even if you increase rates, we get none of that, ever. This is how we get, regardless.
And that's one of the things, I think they will find stuff just coming back 13 years after Katrina, things going on, things slipping through the cracks over the years that I don't think the other company would be in here if they wasn't gonna find any money neither and do a shared savings with us. They obviously have an interest to come to the table and with their proposal because they know that they'll find something also. I like the fact that they do offer some pricing to actually change the meters and the problems they find on site because if not, it may get put on the work order and sit on the desk for 6 months and we still never really start collecting the revenue we should collect because they backed up putting in new installs and everything else. I mean, so, I like the proposal. I know we kinda moved forward with the other one last meeting. I gotta send this to Heather, get her review it. She's supposed to be reviewing the other one still. She hasn't had time. She said yet when I spoke with her, so have to find out the legalities if we want to rescind the last one and go with a different one. But, I just think this would benefit us great.
What's an MIU?
It's the radio reads hot, that reads to the drive line.
Okay.
That's the signal.
And do y'all have like a cost attached to this, a meter replacement?
Yes, page 2.
The city would supply the pole.
MIUs are 13 years old.
Oh, I see.
And right now, I spoke to Jeff Green, and it's a 20-year warranty. And after 10 years, prorated. So they still would probably, you could probably buy it for less than that price, which I think is pretty good deal. If we find one running, if the battery's, not working and not picking up the signal, we could drive by.
Y'all change the battery in them?
Yeah, you change the,
The whole thing.
Okay.
yeah,
I have one in my vehicle that can see one.
we make sure that everybody knows who your vacation hours are, so that nobody's spinning wheels, double checking zero reads or 1,000 reads, because they have an out-of-state mailing address. We know they don't live here. So nobody needs to keep rereading meters that nobody's here. It's all about finding, efficiency and everything being effective, working, and correct, and to benefit you. There's no other benefit to us for any prolonged period or anything like that. We have nothing to gain except for payment for our services for 12 months.
And there'll spend some time also with the people in billing and everything and utilities to make sure everything's going right there because they've seen cases where some of the meters you drop to zero, but they was dropping to zero in the field and in the office, so you was losing lots of water by not billing correctly because I guess the meter reader was adjusting it and then they was adjusting inside the billing counter too, so just a lot of different things I think they would, help out with.
The city clerk at Waveland gave us a room with a computer, and Kathy was able to get it into the billing system, so we could remotely look at everything. So we had a pretty good handle on it. I'd say she looked at every account.
So,
But I'm also in town with Waveland probably at least twice a week.
yeah, so.
So I'm on site a lot, as well as trying to do stuff remotely. So we try to get all of this done and not hinder any of your personnel while we're doing all of the audit and stuff, so that they can keep doing their job.
Do
Do y'all also closely audit the hotels, apartment house complexes, larger businesses and stuff?
We check everything. We go look at all the meters, we see how much water they're using, what they should be using, how many occupants they have, and what the ordinance calls for. We look back, way when I look back to 1995, to make sure that everything that had not been amended was still being followed. And it wasn't, because nobody knew what was still active in the 1995 ordinance. And that was one of the reasons why I helped them redo it, and so that everybody knew what was still out there, and the ordinance was not being followed.
We'll find lost meters that you probably didn't know that. It's hard to believe that they're probably out there.
And it happens everywhere.
Not the only thing. Waveland, Walmart in Waveland, I don't know how many years, they got a 4-inch meter in the front of Walmart, they'd never read it. They didn't even know it was there. We knew it was there because every Walmart we've ever done had a 4-inch meter. And so when we went to look, Captain went to look for the 4-inch meter, well, there was none there, it was just a 2-inch for irrigation and for the greenhouse. So we dug around, we found a 4-inch meter.
So did they back bill on that, or?
Yeah, we did, she went 3 years. She went back 3 years, but the guy knew it, he says, I'm not using that amount of water. I mean, I'm not using water, I should be using a whole lot more than I'm using, so he was fine with it. You know, she found gas customers with high gas usage, no water. So how do you have a gas with no water? So those are the kind of things she looks for, she finds, and we'll go out and, detail and make it work.
So this is a professional service agreement, water system. So you talked about garbage and gas. So what is the add-on fee for water and gas, or is this all inclusive and we can?
It's all inclusive. It just states water agreement because it's basically the utility. It's all going through the one billing department. But we, check your gas customers while we're at the houses. In Waveland, we found the senior housing development was paying for one garbage can. They had 80 meters. So right off the bat, we added 79 garbage cans to them, as well as units. So right there was
Right.
$8,000.
Okay.
And y'all do a physical inspection of every meter on each property?
Yeah, we go out, we find it, we make sure it's working, we turn on my hose bib, make sure that it's running through. If it's not reading or we're not catching a read on the handheld, we're gonna make that note that this one needs to be changed, or it's broken, or cannot be located. They've got 300 driveways. So we know that meters get hidden sometimes.
And if we walk, and she'll find all your zero counts, she'll look from the 0 to 3,000 gallons. And if we go to that house and it's a shotgun house, and we, it's probably using 1,000 gallons, or maybe 15. But we go to a 4,000 square foot house with green grass and
Right.
it's using 2,000 gallons, something's wrong, we're gonna investigate that.
And you might want to mention the geolocation,
Yeah.
geolocate.
Yes, we will GPS every meter that we come up to, and those coordinates will be entered into the billing system. So if anything ever happens, and you can't locate it, you have coordinates that's gonna take you within 2 to 3 feet of that meter.
Did you all look at the agreement that we just entered into? Did you all see that agreement
We heard
with the
a
other
lot about
company?
it.
Did y'all see it? Did y'all
Yes.
physically read the agreement that we just
Well,
went?
I've been in that, I know what they all about. I did that with Honeywell 25 years ago, shared savings, and, it's an agreement that we got out of. It was too many stipulations. We did it on the energy side as much as the water. you know, if you come in here and have 25 days of freezing weather where you didn't have on your base, you know, you had to adjust for it.
Okay. But have y'all seen the agreement
I've seen a couple pages.
and looked at it? Because I know what I would like to do is, I mean, this sounds good. We did enter into an agreement contingent upon some things. I would like to bring you all back and the other company back, you know, because right up front it seems like you all agreement is better than theirs, and I want to know if they looked at you all's agreement to see if there's anything that they cover that you all don't cover. And I think
They're completely different,
Completely different.
because
Right.
their payment is based on
right.
an increase in every account,
Mm-hmm.
okay? They generally look the first year, whatever they find.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna sit back, not come back into your city for years 2 and 3, and keep collecting what they found in year 1,
Right.
okay? We're gonna come in and we're gonna find you everything that we can find you. $38,000 at the end of 12 months. We're hoping everything's great, wonderful, you're collecting all of that money.
Mm-hmm.
This is all that you're not, it's not 55% of anything, it's not 45% of anything.
Right.
It's this and this alone for 1 year.
And that's what I understand. So you know their agreement. See, because
Well,
you're telling us the agreement we entered into, but they don't know you all's agreement. And,
They're competitors.
yeah,
I mean, generally,
Right.
you know, we're, you know, we don't share, you know, contracts, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can tell them, we're gonna come in, we're gonna do an audit with $38,000, and then we're gonna leave and all the money's yours. They can't say that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just,
And they're not going to offer you something like this, because they make their money just like an insurance agent does on a residual, and just sit back in their office and collect it. We're also an hour and 15 minutes away. They're based out of Texas. We're here, on ground, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times a month, making sure that it's all being kept up and all being done, and it's for your benefit. We have absolutely nothing to gain except for paying for my time.
We want to be able to do a great job, finding a lot of money, and renew us next year. To keep looking and helping you out. That's our goal. We became family with Wayne.
So,
We was there constantly.
Have we signed that contract?
so we have what, 3,200 accounts? So, okay, so for 3,500 accounts, how long will it take you to audit 3,500 accounts? Will you get done in the first year, or will you say, we need 3 more years to keep auditing?
No, we'll be done in the first year.
Absolutely.
Okay, so there's a guarantee clause in here that you will be done with our complete system in 1 year.
Oh, yes, sir.
So I don't have to pay another $38,000.
The extra years in Waveland were spent redrafting the ordinances and going through.
Yes, we did a lot
other
in
things.
Waveland, and they needed a lot of cleanup. There was some personnel issues that they were having problems with, and getting stuff cleaned up and done, and we spent a year just working on the ordinance. So our first year was installing some meters for them, doing a cleanup and things like that, but there was a lot more that they wanted us to do. That's why we were there for 4 years.
yeah.
But this audit here will be done in a year.
Buckley Park did not have a meter. And we put a meter, it was a $12,000 meter, because it was a farm meter. It paid for itself in 6 months. The $12,000 was paid for.
Yeah.
They never had a meter.
Oh,
They were being,
like
they were being
$700 a month.
they were being flat bill. And, we put the meter in, so everybody in Waveland was metered. And their usage passed their annual flat bill within the first 6 months, all people.
31 gallons and then it starts running. It's because it needs high volume to run. You take a compound meter and you put it in its place and it'll read a quarter gallon. So you take a school with a turbine meter and 5 kids goes to the restaurant, you have a restaurant. So those are the things that we look at. We've probably done 10,000 schools across the country. Water conservation, we know how much kid use. We knew how much Buccaneer Park used because we found out how many people was there and how many bathrooms they had. And every time someone gets out of the water, you lose a gallon of water. And then we knew the evaporation rate. So we had an instrument that we put on it, the sound speed meter, and we was clocking 137 gallons a minute. So we knew if we put that $10,000 meter, it would pay for itself. We thought within a year we paid for itself in 6 months.
Yeah, that's good.
That's kind of what we look for.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is for your benefit, not,
Oh, yeah.
not
I think it's a great option. I don't know if I agree with having both of them here at the same time. Just, I think, let us all review the contracts and see which ones we think's best and go from there. Sometimes you can get hard feelings, and we've had before with insurance
Right.
companies in here and different businesses here, head to head at the podium, and it's just not the best thing, I don't think, in my opinion.
And I'm just to throw this out here, many municipalities that we go through, generally across Louisiana and Mississippi, we have not come across a shared savings agreement on the water side in at least 10 years. They don't. Everybody's gone away from them, or they find somebody that they know they're gonna benefit big time from, and that's who they go after. Because they know they're gonna find something, so they're gonna keep getting that money for years that they're not even working for, basically. So, I mean, it's, employer or even self-employed, I don't wanna give any of my money to somebody for not doing anything
You know,
on an ongoing basis.
So Doug,
yeah.
like in the last one, we talked about excluding apartment complexes for a certain period of time. On this one, we wouldn't need to do that.
No, you wouldn't need to do that,
They could do it all under this one rate.
correct? So the really,
You can raise your rate, you can fill all your apartments and whatever you want to do. This is one.
Hey, wait, if you need something extra, we can do it. That's what we did, the mayor would call me in his office and say, hey, I need this done, can you go do it? Yeah, we can do that.
You want to run this report, you can do it, whatever you want.
Another thing you might mention is about the logging and being able to prove to people about complaining about, I'm not using this much water.
Right, on the, high water usage, your Neptune equipment, that's the other thing that we, make sure is that you're pulling all the information from the equipment that you have for your benefit. One of the best thing Neptune has is a leak report. You can run a leak report and send the customer a postcard. You have a leak. It's been running constantly for 30 days. If they try to come back in 60 days and there's still a leak report, it hasn't been fixed. There's no reason to adjust. But you can also data log a lot of the MIUs that you have and can show a 91-day history and show someone a graph exactly where that spike was and how long it lasted.
He can sit in his truck and go to your house and put your MIU number in. And he can data log 91 days and tell you when you wash your car. I mean, it's that accurate.
so in that case, if we would entertain an agreement, I would like the agreement modified, to include the gas, water, and sewer. Also, talks about on bullet 14, commencement of completion of work, there is no specified date in the scope of work. I would like to add in the scope of work, a 1 year from notice to proceed clause for requirement. That way we know what day I start on, and a year from that I have to be completed. That way it's not arbitrary of what we have decided. And I really haven't had a chance to look very much through here, to highlight, but I would like to review this and request those changes if we would so entertain an agreement, as such. Well, yeah, it's garbage, gas, and water. So that's what I could add that to this agreement. Say that they're gonna do it, but I'd like the paperwork to reflect on any agreement that we would decide to, undertake. Okay? Like I said, I've finished reading this and update any correction I'd like to add, and the council would have to discuss moving forward what we'd like to do. I would prefer to go into a flat billing cycle. We feel there are some anomalies out there, just day-to-day operation. Meters are fallible, and we just don't we don't have enough time to go and research them.
Yeah, things just get lost all the time, and it's, at no real fault, it happens.
Yeah.
You know, Waveland had a little problem with your water meter reading, and you gave me 3 or 4 days off or a week off. And it gave you, and that was the day that they started reading meters, so the mayor asked us, I don't have no one to read meters, can y'all read them water? Yeah, we'll read 'em. So we came in here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and probably spent 16 hours a day. But Monday morning, they had their guy ready to go, so we'll work out of the box for you.
We'd like to define specifically what the expectations are, and if we decide to deviate, we would pay for you those deviations, but we'd also hold you to the contract if we would agree to such.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any further questions?
Did you sign the other contract?
So the other contract's still under review with Heather, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, hasn't been executed or anything yet. It
So
was
we can
just,
talk with her about what we need to do,
yeah, I'll send it to you.
we'll have to rescind it, and,
Send that motion.
Yeah.
yeah, we'll have to do that at the meeting. Can you
Yes.
put that on the agenda for Tuesday night's meeting, just to discuss the water contract again?
Yeah. All right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Appreciate your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Y'all have a good evening. Safe drive home. Yeah.
Yeah.
Call him day rats, huh?
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
Thanks. Hands down.
Sidebar. I noted this out, and the only one we ever looked at was Board of Company of America, the only one that ever come to us, and that was in 13. I don't know how many years ago that was, but 2004, something like that.
Yeah, what I like about it is they've done Waveland, and Waveland gives them, really good reviews.
That's how I got in touch with them through Waveland. I called and asked who they used. I knew they did one and they paid the fee for it and did a lot of stuff. But they went way beyond just that. They wound up working with them to put the meter behind the treatment plant to make sure they metered everything going to the utility authority and everything else to make sure everything was matching up.
And they have a flat rate and know what our cost is gonna be. It's great.
Yeah, thank you all for listening to them, taking time.
Thank you for
Thanks for
bringing
bringing them to us.
Thank you for bringing them in, yes. All right. Next up, we have our budget. Well, where do we want to start, sis?
Start with revenues right there.
I mean, we've discussed revenues, figured out where we was at on that. I think we've all agreed, the numbers we're using to set those revenues, right?
Pretty much. We do expect a little bit in ad valorem, we didn't include it. Same thing with sales tax, but we're not, we'd rather just stay where we at and let's see what we end up with.
So
If we do revenue go up, that way we got cushion throughout the year, and we're not budgeting 110% of that 100%.
I think revenues are flat is where they at. I mean, everything that, her numbers, my numbers add up close to that smart calculator person you get up there, so I'm comfortable with it.
One thing we do have a couple fees on the license and permits. I'm gonna go up on the, bulkhead pier, boat shed. We're charging $135 now, flat rate. They suggested $250 flat rate or percentage of the value. You know, whatever be the best for that.
I still think it should be a percentage of the value.
Hi?
I think it should be a percentage of the value or a minimum of some sort and then a percentage of the value.
Okay.
You know, if you're gonna build a $3,000 dock, it costs you, you know, $100, $200, something like that. But if it's gonna be a $30,000 dock, it needs to be, you know, charged on a percentage basis.
So why wouldn't we use the ICC multiplier that's part of our ordinance?
Was their suggestion, just like homeowners, we don't want a flat fee.
Right.
Like homeowners, we have an ICC ordinance, part of the ordinance is an ICC multiplier, and I think in the 18 ordinance we're looking at, just continues using that multiplier.
Choose that for that, like any other construction project on the property.
We can put that in together to vote on it, one of the upcoming meetings there. Also, the same thing with what was, subdivision plat approval. It's $25 now. I think Charlene asked to go to 100. Again, that probably won't make, not worth calculating into an increase in anything. I think last year we ended up showing 44 bulkheads on the books when she redid it, so not talking about a whole lot, but it will be, more. Court costs, the fines. We went back up on that. I think with the new structure that's in place now, we'll have two traffic officers. That's gonna be that duty. They'll work a split shift where they can come in and target specific times, whether it's morning, one come in the mornings, or split the day shift, night shift, So that's gonna be a work in progress from them, but they have a commitment also to get back on track there.
Last year, I know we discussed, library funding, and we cut, the supervisors helped us save, 44,000, I think, and then they still had extra 30,000 in their book fund budget or something that we talked about possibly looking at this year. Maybe we need to get with the new library director and see where their budget's at this year and look at cutting that back if it's just extras in there that they could operate without possibly.
Is anybody privileged to our financials so I can see how much excess cash they have? I think last year was around $1 million something.
I haven't
We
seen
redid the
it.
system, they're supposed to report to us
Yep.
yearly now. So we should be receiving a report from them soon, or
Yeah, I need to try to get,
make sure
maybe
we
y'all can request a
it.
copy,
Yeah.
somebody, so we can look at it and see.
See if I get that. Anything on the first page?
I'd still like to see us do something with the device revenues from the game.
Well, that's, trying to get something set up with that with, Casey Uri with the state,
Mm-hmm.
and then also with Hollywood on that, trying to set up a meeting with that.
So, okay.
Coming down, on other, we have it was brought to attention, you know, on the community center hourly rate, the big community center. Both community centers charge $55 an hour during the week. What is it, Sunday through Friday during the week?
Sunday through Thursday, or?
Thursday,
Is it
maybe.
Sunday through Thursday?
It's charged by the hour at 55, both of them. And was asked to look at increasing the big community center maybe to $100 an hour. For the reason is, you know, a lot more in there to keep up and everything being the same price as the little community center.
So do we, you know, because it's so compartmentalized, do we do the rooms at $55 an hour in the main hall
We
at the
We could
higher
do-
rate?
We could do that inside area.
Because they got the meeting rooms, right?
That's right. We could do that whole area, you know, in that $55 an hour. But if you come out into
Main
the big
hall.
part, then,
It's whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree, because I mean, that is,
Cause right now they can use the kitchen and all for 55 an hour. Yeah, it's cheap.
yep.
So we have a lot of soccer banquets.
Yeah.
And they pay for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, with schools and
It's
all,
okay
you know,
with the schools,
yeah.
but.
But that was one thing to ask about there, so that's another proposal. They felt like the little community hall, $55 an hour for something like that, you know, it's not. so
All right, well,
still
we,
bad.
we the ones that gonna be making the proposals.
Yeah.
So we can talk about this again tomorrow, but if we don't say this is what we wanna do, then we'll talk about it Wednesday, Thursday.
No, we'll send them a little note out to the mine and y'all can put it together.
All right, so what do we feel, it's $150 an hour for the main hall? Who's we gonna, I mean,
Well,
who's
they-
gonna poll? That's what my question is.
Oh, the amount?
Yeah.
They just asked to go up to at least 100.
They,
Well, I mean, when it was talked about, you know, Katie was talking about, you know, she
Okay.
one brought it to attention about them two being the same. He said, you know, even if you double up on what the other one is, you know, it's better than nothing. So if we stayed at 55 for the banquet room or whatever, I don't know what you would even call that. in
Yeah.
there. And but if you use the big hall and everything, we go to 100 or whatever.
And that's during the week,
That's during the week.
but the other fees will stay the same.
Other fees stay the same.
so I think that, yeah, that's a bigger deal.
Is there a 2-hour minimum, any minimum, or?
I don't know. I don't believe.
Or could somebody just say, I want rent for an hour for $55 and we do all that paperwork for that? Probably need to put a minimum on it too, I mean.
They do pay their cleanup fee. Yeah, they put a deposit for cleanup fees and all that.
Yeah, it's a deposit, so if they lose it, I mean, if they
Yeah.
don't clean up, they lose the deposit. So.
That's paid whether it's by the hour or the regular lease agreement.
So Doug, are you saying? No, I'm sure it's readily available on the website, but we haven't really researched it. So Doug, you want us to bring back
I would, yeah, I
a
mean,
revised
because you
price
have,
schedule?
you have three rooms plus the kitchen in that one end? Or
But you
four?
got more than that. You got small little rooms.
That's what I'm saying, the room, the
You got one,
small
two,
rooms.
Got
And
two
then
in the
three,
front.
3,
and then
4, and
the
then you
kitchen.
got the,
right,
I guess
right,
they call it
the common area, whatever,
yeah, and then you got the kitchen, then you got the
the main hall.
main
That's
hall.
what I'm saying, so you really have three meeting rooms, the kitchen, and your common area as one part of the building in your main area. So why wouldn't you, for each, it's $55 an hour for a room. If you wanna use the kitchen, that's another $55 an hour. And if you wanna use the main hall, that's $100 an hour. So a kitchen in the main hall would be $150 an hour. Throwing numbers out, cause, I mean,
It
because.
seems like the kitchen should be a little bit more because you're using the freezers, the refrigerators, the stoves. You know, the cleanup's a little bit,
Clean
more
up
extensive than.
and water, you know.
Like if they used the kitchen, use the gas stoves and stuff, it's just part of the fee they pay, I guess, that's included in the fee, huh?
Yeah, that's,
I mean, most of it's warming, it's very little cooking, it's
Yeah.
more,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
warming than it is
right.
Yeah.
anything else.
Not many cookies done.
Again, you know, cause again, it is your soccer groups, it's your football and your baseball
Yeah.
leagues that are, you know,
Using
but
it.
we do
Mhm.
need to, you know, the light bill, what, $2,600 a month, something like that. So,
25, 27.
yeah,
Cover
so
the
we,
cost.
we do need to be smart about how we do rent it out.
We have that, and we also have employees back there. That's one thing we talked about also, is maybe finding a cleaning service. And
We budgeted, what, 75,000? We're about, what, 28,000 under right now. Do we see any way that we're gonna make that up this year? In the next few months?
getting transferred out later.
I transferred out, what month is this? July. I transferred out through June. I haven't transferred in July money.
What was that, Sissy?
I transferred through June. So those numbers are through June.
4 more months of third.
So we got July, August, September, October.
Yes, so if you're
62
75,000, you're
maybe.
28 now,
Right.
you get 50,000, 60,000.
Yeah, if it trended the same, it'll be about 62, but
Yep.
summer is probably our busiest time, but I don't know.
So we look to hit that.
I don't know if we'll hit 75.
May not hit the 75, but be close.
I've passed by on the weekends
Where,
and seen it not rented
So
lately.
is, are people using it?
I think the
Like-
problem is our website was down for so long. Like out-of-towners may not even realize that we have this facility available.
Oh, maybe
So
Okay.
I think that's one reason why our rentals have not been booking up. We're usually booked up very solid in
Oh, yeah.
advance.
Okay.
So I think that's a determining
What it is
factor
too,
too.
is other, buildings being available. I think the little one we've seen more use at,
Mhm.
but there's also throughout the city and throughout the county, there's other options available now. So it's pretty competitive with it. So before, for a long time, I guess that was pretty much the main one, where they come and figure, they had a big one up on 53 up there.
Mhm.
That one opened up there, another one down further south. You got other places starting to put, receptions and things like that.
Oh, yeah. You got that big one up on like 53, Paradise and Picayune opened up where they do weddings. I mean, there's been a lot of venues, private sector venues opened up in the last 2 years locally, so.
So that's one thing,
Do
we
it.
need to make sure that we don't overprice ourselves into some of the things.
So, let's go back to what we're charging today. So it says here, and I don't know, and I know we threw that hourly rate in there somehow, but I don't know where we came up with it. So rental fee, ballroom, $1,100. Rental fee, entire building, $1,600. Nonprofit ballroom, $550. Nonprofit entire building, $800. Rehearsal, 1 hour minimum, $75 an hour. Rental fee, meeting rooms, $250. Nonprofit fee, meeting rooms, $125.
Are you talking about on weekends, right?
Well, and that's, yeah, and I know we broke that out, so I'm trying to, I got so much data in this here computer. So, and rental fee, ballroom, 1,100. Entire building, 1,600. Nonprofit, ballroom, 550. Nonprofit fee, entire building, 800. $75 an hour for a rehearsal. Rental fee for the meeting rooms, $250. Nonprofit fee for meeting rooms is $125.
And that's all the meeting rooms, right?
Yeah, and I know we,
Now, is the kitchen
Amended this.
included in that?
yes,
Okay.
Those rates sound pretty good.
use of the kitchen included rental fees,
Didn't we
facility.
didn't we
we do
include a
this-
10% increase last
Well,
October?
like I said,
I
I don't
kinda
know.
wanna think 1210 is our
It might
standard
be, and I
rate
was just
now.
trying to figure out a baseline of where we was at, cause
I think it's
know-
1210,
Okay. Yeah, we did 10% everything last year,
yeah.
but this is just one that I pulled up, trying to get an idea
But that, yeah,
what
that's,
we had done
that's basically it.
originally, and I don't, like I said, this, we could amend it this twice, and
But that's for weekends only? We
Well,
just do
we did-
$55?
I thought we
flat
changed,
out?
did we change the fees for weekend and weekdays too? But
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that here, and that's why I know we did some changes, and
Yeah,
what the heck,
I can find notes for this.
why is Wednesday? That was 15, that was November 15.
That might have been that, that's when we increased, everything across the board
Yeah, we did.
in 15. I thought we touched it again maybe in 16.
Yeah, we might have.
either 16 or 17, y'all went up another 10%.
10%, something like
Because
that.
it made it,
this is just-
because I know that one number made it be 1210.
So we have a base figures there.
We'll look at that and put something together.
Okay.
And come, you know. Same thing on the small haul, you know, we'll look at it and see what it's costing for that and see if we need to, you know, make any adjustments over there.
I mean, during the week, though, you don't wanna price sports leagues and
No,
social, you know, I don't mind weddings and social events and big things like that, but you don't wanna, community hall, we wanna be able to use this community for
Yep.
the kids and things like that. If you wanna have a small banquet for a couple $100, you don't have to pay $1,600 to rent out the hall. Never have.
And that's Thursday through Saturday,
Well, see, now, I know we changed that somewhere.
yeah.
Sunday through Thursday, I think it is.
Sundays and Thursdays reduced rates.
Mhm.
And
Or
Sunday,
weekly
we
rates, I
started
mean,
with
not
the,
hourly.
hourly rates.
Yeah, Sunday through Thursday hourly
Yeah.
rates. Friday and Saturday, you're not allowed to rent by the hour.
Mhm.
You have to do the whole building or the whole area.
And that's something you might wanna look at also if, a last minute thing comes up, if it's not booked. Yeah, I don't know, I don't know if we want, I don't know.
Because we want to book it.
Yeah, we,
Yeah,
they not on?
On the new website, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't think they put them back on there. Does it even have a number to call or any pictures? Nothing? Okay. Oh, okay.
One thing about the community hall that I'd like to start seeing is a profit and loss statement out of it. In other words, if we collect an X amount of dollars and have all the fees and things that we pay, the maintenance, so we can see if we're actually making money on it.
Not even close.
Probably scare you.
Not even close. I mean, right off the bat, I think probably electric bill's 2,500, 2,700. So,
Insurances.
you got the insurance, you got personnel, some maintenance on it. And the little one, we definitely not probably on that neither.
Either a rat or a cat.
Something running around up there.
and a rat.
You figure it's probably 30 to 35,000 just on electric bill back there.
that's per year.
That's not insurance.
That's not
That's
insurance,
not,
isn't it?
Any
Water,
type
sewer,
of maintenance at
anything.
all. That's not personnel.
Gary, do you remember with Rotary, did Rotary agree with us to maybe do some upkeep or?
Yep.
Yes, they do have, there's a fund, and it's held in Gulfport, I forgot the name of it, but Corky Haddon manages the fund, and it's probably $150,000 in the fund. But the purpose of the fund was that if there was like an air conditioner or something that went out and needed to be replaced, or the place needed to be painted, all we have to do is just, make application with
Well, it
Corky,
need
and
to
he
be
brings it to
painted.
the
It
membership.
definitely needs to be painted.
Yeah,
We were just there this week and it was looking pretty
So really,
shabby.
all we need to do is just put it out for bid, bring the bids here, vote on it, and then just go to Corky, and then he
Need to be-
makes the
but
request.
it need to be cleaned,
Yeah.
then painted, yeah. Maybe we can bring that up at the Rotary meeting.
That's what the money's for. They said, that's all you have to do. You don't even have to go to Rotary meeting, you just gotta call him. And then
Okay,
he'll call the president and, inform her that,
Okay.
that we have a request to, for some maintenance funds. And that was the reason why it was set aside for.
Mhm.
Do we need to make the
reason.
request first, Gary, or do we go out to bid first? to get
Well, I mean,
bids
if we
and
was
then
gonna
tell them
paint
what
it,
we got?
I would have a couple bids out for them. I know Jason, Kanishi was mentioning some about upgrading the Wi-Fi inside of the community hall. And I'd have to, it was a while back that he asked me about it, because he's in Rotary also, but it's not a hard process. All we gotta do is
Right,
make applications, they just wanna make sure it's being used on the facility.
Right.
Anything
Actually,
on-
Corky's come here a couple times
Yeah,
and said that those funds were available.
Cleaned up a little.
total revenue projection is 8,783.
What's that, Mike?
State Street total revenues is $8,783,000.
That's projected for next year's budget,
That's projected for next year.
and that's a good bit under current budget, correct?
That's under the current budget, but we also had, in the current budget, we had, what was it, $180,000 from MEMA.
168.
Yeah, 168 from MEMA included in that, plus that also included transfers in from, reserve account to get us through the beginning of the year.
Plus some lease proceeds for financing the,
Yeah.
equipment is also inside that number.
Yeah,
And
that
our
we have not
cash
used
balance
yet,
is
so.
Have you been able, Sissy, yet to, make a separate category number for like the debt service on the stuff we was buying, like we spoke a while back about possibly?
Yeah, I did not do that yet, but,
Okay.
I can do that.
I mean, if the rest of the council, I just, sometimes,
Well, and I guess I don't necessarily have to do it now unless y'all wanna go ahead and budget for those expenses, but I guess when we do, when we're ready to like buy a piece of equipment on lease, and at that point,
Mhm,
I would load it into like, say, a fund 002 instead of a 001.
mhm.
I wouldn't even load it into 001, so it doesn't convolute the number.
And that's the problem I had, because when we amended the budget a few times throughout the year, you got all this extra money, but then you got a capital expense that's not really a cash expense that year, but it messes up all the numbers you're looking at.
Right, and you have to
And you
issue a
gotta
PO
go back.
for it, so
Mhm.
it sits out there until the equipment comes in, and then we delete the POs, so it's kinda like it goes in and it comes out, and
That's what I
it's kinda
say.
messed up.
If we had a separate fund altogether set up to where the numbers didn't interfere with the day-to-day numbers, I think it'd be a lot better to actually look at it that way.
Okay, I'll, set up a fund, I'll just say 002, and then we'll have that in a GL when we're ready.
I have a couple of questions. Okay, rent, Old Town Community, which one we're talking about there?
That's the garage.
That's the garage. All right, and we're looking at 30,000, okay. Old City Hall, we're not renting that anymore?
Yes, but not the upstairs.
Not the second
There's an
floor.
upstairs and a downstairs section on that.
What are we doing with the upstairs?
It's
We're
for,
gonna try to rent it out.
It's what now?
We're gonna try to rent it out.
Okay.
it's for rent, but where's it being advertised for rent at this point?
Yeah, we got, you know, with the restaurant down there, we have to be careful what we put up there.
Right.
He has shown interest in, you know, leasing it himself.
Yeah, I think he wanted to have a video device, but we didn't get having it.
Yeah, the camp, yeah, one day it might have been this week.
Yeah, it was like Tuesday.
You know, so hopefully we can get that rented. Also, we have to look at the garden center. It's gonna be empty. We're gonna advertise for that also.
You said it's gonna be emptying out?
Yes.
End of July, they called and told me.
Yeah, we need to,
July 1st,
we need to
they'll
put all
be
that
out.
stuff on the
Sure will.
website for
Will.
sure, and then probably
We get all.
quite a few other places as well. The longer it sits vacant, the worse for us.
But we're still looking at, we still include 15,000 in there, so we're planning on
We plan on
re-renting
getting
it.
rent.
Okay.
I'd probably knock that number down to about half, so we're not expecting it, and if we get it, then it's even better.
Well, if we,
Because it could sit empty for a couple of months,
Yeah.
or longer.
At least knock it down to like 10,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have on the garden club, hold on,
Is that the only one we have that we're gonna?
Well, hopefully that in the second floor of the old city hall.
Yeah, we got that at 0 now. Hopefully that'll come
Yes.
on with something soon.
Let's
it looks like it's been empty a while.
see.
are we gonna be
We
good
didn't
on
get
that?
much out of it this year.
Are we gonna be good on that fire rebate insurance thing? That's not gonna change? Cause we get 50,000 back on that?
We haven't gotten a notification, it usually comes in July, but we haven't gotten a notification or anything yet.
Now, that HIDA fund there, is that the fund that the police use to buy their new vehicles? What is, the equipment, or what is that fund?
Now, the HIDA has something to do with drug trafficking.
Drug.
We have an officer dedicated to that, and I think they work out of Gulfport or Biloxi.
They put vehicle in the officer.
Yeah,
A vehicle and an officer,
but
okay,
only one officer we can have.
okay.
So we're well under budget on that one, or,
Well, because
Well
we
under
had
revenue.
two officers, and then they never did hire that additional officer. So we're only gonna get back one officer this whole year. So, yeah, that budget is needing to be adjusted.
So we didn't get the grant to cover the two officers,
Well, we could have gotten it, but we did not hire the second officer.
we didn't what?
We didn't hire the second officer. I think that Darren at that time chose not to hire that second officer.
Okay.
so we're not actually losing any revenue necessarily, we just didn't get we're not getting
Right.
reimbursed
We
for
didn't pay
somebody.
it out.
We didn't pay it out.
Pay it out, so you're
Okay.
gonna get reimbursed.
But we are gonna try to get the 2 officers this year.
I don't think that there is much to officer.
Why-
You know
why?
about that?
I mean, if
We'll find out.
it would only increase our chances of getting revenue,
Right.
right, from seizures.
I don't know how it relates to
right,
the
right.
DOJ.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
I don't know.
think, just understand what that is, and
I'll find out on that and get the
I
information.
know they get pulled in other jurisdictions for stuff, but if they're getting paid 100% paid from the state, but we still have to cover, do we have to cover any of that, or is it 100%? I thought we had like insurances or, I don't remember.
Doesn't look like we break even.
And our homestead reimbursements, when, we'll get that check when, the rest of that money when? Cause we're about halfway.
Half right now.
September.
We'll get that in
It's March and September, I believe, is the months that they disperse those monies.
so September we'll get the rest of that money, okay.
And it's usually right on the money, 23,
Okay.
pretty much every year. For a HIDA officer with benefits, it currently costs us $47,180. To date, we've only gotten back 36,000, so I guess we may end up breaking even.
We're budgeting 45,000 for next year, which is basically one officer.
Yeah, I just say someone else, if they don't have any hours, they're gonna put two in there.
Right.
I think there may be a little lapse even with the one officer possibly for a little while, if I'm not mistaken, maybe.
Anything
Anything
else on
else
the revenue?
on-
What's the utility fund indirect, CO, whatever that is?
One is
Just
transferred from
indirect costs.
utilities
You know,
to general fund for,
administration fees, anything else. And that's also looking at, I think we're looking at taking person and splitting them 3 ways with the harbor, the utility, and us.
So that's personnel?
Yes.
Well, and I guess overhead,
Yeah, overhead. Yeah, it's everything. Everything in, you know. that's
Where does
not
that come in
direct.
from?
utility fund,
Utility?
yes, to general.
On the insurance proceeds, so we're collecting all the money for all the down, light poles?
We have collected.
If they have insurance,
We're facing one now, the latest one doesn't have insurance, but
The one that got hit on 603?
the last one.
this has to
But we'll go after and see what we need to do to get it.
You're indirect from the, harbor, with the 40,000 from 20?
Is that in personnel?
I don't know, you had 20 on that note, and I
Yeah.
think
Oh, I was
you still wanted
looking,
to
yeah,
do
I
it
was
or
looking,
not.
yeah. Chuck is looking at additional personnel.
But I put the personnel in his budget, so
Oh.
we may wanna remove.
Yeah,
need
but
to
we
remove
might
that.
wanna remove that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Get
weren't sure
back
whether
to
we
20.
gonna fund that person
Yeah,
out
we-
here and charge him or fund it at his, but I went in. and
That
put
one
it in.
might be.
Okay, so
You
we'll
got
take
that?
20 out of that.
Yeah, his, it's in his budget
Okay.
right now,
Right.
so we need to remove that.
We can remove that one.
Okay, when we say transfer into municipal reserve, did we, did we transfer a quarter of a meal or something into municipal reserve? Where did we get the 215
That
from?
dedicated millage.
That's
that
dedicated.
money we borrowed October through December, and we paid it back with the millage at the first of the year.
Okay, so we're not gonna put, we ain't gonna transfer nothing in this year.
That would be the ideal.
If
I
we
think
make
y'all
it.
originally budgeted a little bit. Let me see what y'all budgeted.
And then if we transferred something in, where would we?
Y'all
get it from?
budgeted and you currently have in your budget to transfer 50,000 out to municipal reserve. In your current budget.
Transfer
But
it
that's
out
to the good, 50,000 to the good at the end of the year. if we have
Right,
it.
right,
Yeah.
depending on what kind of cash flow.
if you have enough cash flow.
Yeah. The money that was actually transferred out, there was money that
Those were just loans.
borrowed from,
Interloan transfers.
general fund.
Okay,
Y'all had a true transfer that y'all didn't evaluate.
So we got 1.24 mils
right.
dedicated to reserve.
You don't have those dedications anymore. You had to remove those.
Right, okay, for those, so it's just all one.
Because Trent said that they need to be in general fund, so y'all dedicated those up to general fund.
And the fire rebate, we have 50,000 in the current budget. We have 0, but we're putting 50,000 in our proposed budget. When will that 50,000 take place of that 0 in this current budget?
When we get the money from the state,
And when do we get that?
we normally get it in July. but we have
July.
not gotten it yet.
Okay.
Revenue, $8,757,376. We took it $25,624.
Yeah, he took,
Take 20 away from it.
Took 20 from Harbor, took
56.
$5,624 from Garden Club.
And what was your total, Mr. Seal?
$8,757,376.
Was it? How many hundred? Three.
376.
see if I could read your handwriting.
Pretty good job.
Anybody else have anything on the revenue? Deputy Chief Avery, do you wanna come up for a minute and discuss some needs that y'all have, or? No, okay, I talked a little bit to Chief Monty about either coming to this meeting or the next meeting. And I didn't know if you were here for that, or if you were just here, Jim.
Move on.
All right.
Expenses. Council. I don't believe there's any changes. Yes.
You're moving the
Yeah, moving a payroll. Is that half of a payroll?
whole, it's a whole payroll.
Moving a whole payroll.
I mean, for discussion, but
Yes.
So we are moving a whole person or half a person? Originally, we said we'd do a half a person.
they're getting a half a person.
Yeah, you're getting a
through
half a-
grant.
Half a person through a grant for the next 10 months.
What happened to the person we were supposed to get 3 months ago?
Chicken
Didn't
now,
work
she
out.
read-
So
She
you
read the job
We got another
description.
one coming.
Well, then I wouldn't change anything at this point, because with this new system that we got coming online, we gotta have 2 functional people to be able to run this new system that we have.
Yeah, I don't wanna have,
She's
because
coming
it-
over here, gonna start learning.
Well, I'd rather have a full-time employee that has that, if something happens at least. Hmm?
She's not coming right now.
Oh, okay, the council, so I thought the
we was talking about flipping one person
Yeah.
to get a half person.
Right, well, you're getting half. We're gonna take yours full. I mean, once it trained, and she can still do, what we say, P and Z, you know, if that's what needs to be done for now.
Take ours in full. I thought we was doing half, like, half a part-time person and a volunteer part-time person. I thought, well, the grant part-time person plus Caitlin still being part-time, so it'll still be full-time covered, just only paying for the
So you want
one
two halves.
part-time.
Do you want a whole person?
Yeah,
We
but that,
should never
what-
transfer her over here.
that-
I understood y'all didn't want the, extra.
well, we'll take Linda back. I mean,
I thought y'all had to save money to get,
Half of the salary covered Grantus.
yeah, that was before Granicus. So, I mean, this looks like, actually, Lisa, what is,
I must have misunderstood what the council said,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I just
I
wanna
thought
make
you wanted
sure
a half.
that we're, that before we make these changes, is that she's gonna be adequately covered, because if, this new system, and we don't have two people that can operate it, that are proficient with it, and she goes on vacation or something during the meeting, and, you know, we're gonna be kinda like, you know, who's gonna run the system?
Oh, I understood
Okay.
Caitlin was going through training as well.
She is,
Oh, okay, okay. But she still needs to know training for P and Z as well.
that's correct.
Okay.
So we wanna add a half back to that.
Yeah, I'm not advocating get rid of Caitlin 100% at all.
Okay.
No.
When would she do P and Z work? Would that be on this half?
Well, I mean, that's the coverage, I mean, or if we're not gonna, if P and Z's gonna go back to the building department, totally, then that's part of Caitlin's job today.
I know, I'm just trying to figure out what half of the work is Caitlin gonna be doing, so that we know what half of the work she might be able to do over there. If
Right.
she's gonna come over there and do P and Z, then City
What-
Hall's not getting any benefit, so I'm just trying to determine what type of job she would have over there.
Oh, right, yeah, understand. So P and Z, who's gonna do P and Z? When Caitlin, in today's scenario, we have one person over here, who does P and Z
We understood, or just in my mind,
Right.
Caitlin would still continue to do it since she's fully trained.
over there?
And she's fully trained on grants as well. Plus Charlene is over there, so it'd be, you know, they have to relay back and forth information as well. That was my
So
understanding.
P and Z would go completely out of this office and be in the building.
But Caitlin still would retain it because she's the most knowledgeable.
Okay,
So they would do the minutes, P and Z minutes over there?
so the only thing happening here would be council business, as
Right.
far as what Lisa would have to do. And then when Lisa's on vacation, then
Caitlin's fully trained in the
Caitlin would
system.
backfill.
That's what I would think. And then if Caitlin's, I understand Charlene's also being fully trained, so if Caitlin were out, then we'd also have Charlene as backup for Caitlin as well.
So that's why you all are taking the 33, look like you're taking 33,000, a little bit over 33,000 from last year's budget.
That is
From a-
correct. Well, that's what the plan was, 33,705.
And you're gonna put it over there?
Wait, we move that to utility?
Half.
Are you just moving it over to building?
Half utility and half harbor.
Half building, half harbor?
Third utility, third.
Yeah, I didn't have time to do that, I'm sorry. I didn't do it in a 50%. Got that back.
So, Ms. Tilly,
Yes,
so from a day-to-day operational standpoint, 1.5 people, well, we still need that half person, or do we need that half person from a day-to-day standpoint?
oh yeah. Yeah, I need somebody else in here. Meeting weeks, I have to take time off because, you know, of the time that I spend here at night, I have to take it off somewhere. I need somebody in here who is able to get packets ready, who's able to, get everything done with the minute books. I've got, you know, stuff that, just basic filing stuff that I need somebody who knows what they're doing. And I need somebody who's a little bit flexible in that, and I need somebody who I don't have to be here. If we're
Right.
using an SMPDD employee, am I able to leave them here by themselves since they're not a city employee?
According to their rules, you are, unless you're asking them to
Yeah, which we don't do cash over here. Now, I just thought of something else and I forgot it, but, I do need somebody who can, and somebody who can walk in here and do a meeting if I happen to be absent, for a meeting. I need somebody who knows how to work on the computer, who knows how to run that, who knows how to start just do the whole shebang, so, I need to have somebody who can learn how to run everything in here.
Should we try to find a part-time person
I
plus
thought
that, so you're not paying the benefits and all on it? I mean, 'cause that was my understanding when we
I
did it,
thought
was
the idea
splitting
was
it
that
was to still have
Caitlin was
half
gonna be
here,
here.
plus the other half employee from them, which would give you 40-hour week coverage, was my
Right.
understanding of the way we was doing it. That's what I thought. So, yeah. But I mean, day to day, I mean,
And we have a substantial investment in Caitlin now.
Yeah, but, so, planning and zoning, that falls under council business, or that's city business? I mean, it's under the zoning department, it should be city business.
That's building department, yeah.
I mean, I thought that was the whole discussion we had prior, was that when she was doing that, she was working basically for the city, so she needed to be half there and then half the
Right.
time here, coverage,
Help
That's
cover
where we got
in
the
the
money
water
for the
department
other-
downstairs
of a portion of it.
with, the young lady that works down there.
Katie?
Katie,
Yeah.
You part of the put a volunteer in a body. I think that's what, part of the grant was, or part of the program was to try to get someone in here professional.
mhm.
That really means that there's another department has to employ.
And that's coming out of building department?
Department's head of council budget, so,
But that's a building department function.
but historically and always, this office is actually,
Well,
when the first, all this stuff first came out.
yeah, because, I guess because they P and Z kind of falls under y'all because they recommend to y'all and then y'all make final decision. So it falls under y'all as far as decision-making stuff, so I think that's why it kind of came to the council office.
Yeah, but for as pay side, they get all the permit fees and all that next door through the administrative department and the building department for the $75 or $100 fee to
Right.
come to P and Z to do a variance or do something. That money goes to that side of the street, correct? So that's where I think the pay should come from, is that side also, probably for that personnel. I mean, I know the board's a recommended body to us, but the functions they doing day to day is a building department function, I think.
Okay, so basically, y'all still want two full-time revenue with the breakfast offering.
That was my understanding, we tried it for a while, yeah.
Well, because I'm not gonna be able to just, as soon as we go live, just do this ground running. I mean, I'm gonna need time with somebody in this office full-time to make sure everything is running smooth and everything is good and that,
We could do a budget amendment like we do everything else, once we see where we at. So we would, expectation would be have half a person, we're gonna budget and pay for 17,000, and also have a volunteer to help cover the overlap. If Francis comes up and it's great and we can buy at least a easy boy, then we'll transfer that.
wait, buy me a what?
A lazy boy.
Hey, look, I'm all for
We
that.
could, we can transfer that 17,000 back out of here, back into Yalda. So. Nobody else after that has been able to.
We didn't have more than one person,
Well, again,
Yeah, but our
until-
workload's
since then, we
increased
have not
also.
been successful with one person, I mean, we've always been battling that, I understand that, but we've been behind on minutes, ordinance has been lost, we haven't updated them, again.
And there's a lot of stuff that wasn't being done
And
that
it's,
should have
if
been
it's,
being done.
if it's a turnover, it's lack of training on our part, right? Because we just throw people in and like, hit the ground running and we don't know what the heck's required sometimes, because the sissy has to keep us in line, but it is. See? Yeah. So, and I think once we see how it works out, then I think we can transfer the funds back to.
Maybe I'll go to half-time, half of employee. So that'll be two.
Oh, hold on. Let's go, we got equipment in here? Do we got like, computer equipment in this?
It's probably printers, that's printer rental, equipment rental.
Lisa, you were talking about some laptops or something?
Yes. That's for y'all, for the Granicus stuff.
And
During
when do
the
we have to
meetings.
purchase those?
Mhm. We did the, requisition for 5 of them today.
How much is that? Is that in this budget or next budget? Or, I mean,
It's
is
what,
it
for-
in this current budget?
14 something. Yeah, 1400.
Oh, for 5 laptops, 1,400?
Yeah.
With a 3-year warranty.
Yeah, with a 3-year warranty. Couple of them
Got 5
got sold,
laptops?
couple of them got sold before they could put a hold on them.
I can get some more, I can get.
Yeah, that wasn't the end of it, but
So on the equipment rental, so equipment rental,
Goes down.
last year we talked about we was gonna break out the copier between the judicial and council office.
Yep.
And we're,
Did
no,
we-
we're not.
What's that?
Okay,
they really haven't been using it
okay,
much.
well, okay. That's
I
fine.
think it's one they take back and forth, or, it's a smaller one,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
I think,
fine. I thought it was a big discussion about they used it a lot. Yeah, I mean, 'cause I thought, my assumption was they used as much as we did, but, and I didn't know that factually. Okay,
they-
well, if
yeah.
they don't use it, that's fine, but I just, my assumption was that there was a big usage there and, okay. that's fine.
There was-
Also,
When
There
I was in
was
here the other
some.
day, they sit one
Not
right up
me.
here and they print and do everything off of it right here.
but Granicus isn't in the here neither. Isn't that a recurring expense every year for $12,000 or something for the new software? That should be in here. That's why we was cutting. It was like 12,000 or 13,000.
First time, the one-time deal was, I can't remember how much it was, and then it was gonna be.
It was like 12,000 a year, I think. I don't remember exact numbers, but that needs to be in here also.
Whatever. it
That's why
needs
we
to
was
be.
cutting Caitlin to 50/50 to cover that. With the other half of the salary is with the whole intention when we got the software. But I don't see that in here. I only see like 3,000 for computer software, so we need a contractual service will be then,
That's what it was. Yes, it was 14 for the first year because we had hardware coming with 7. And then 7,000 for the software every year after that. It's 14 this year, and then from then on it's 7.
was it gonna be 7 or, I thought it was gonna be 12 each year, cause we did the software for the minutes and all, plus did the video audio side to stream it and to, index the meetings and all that stuff. I mean, cause we did both sides of it, I thought, so it was like
I think we
12,000
did,
a
yeah.
year. If I'm not, 12 to 13,000 a year is gonna be recurring expense on that system, but we figured once everybody got trained up, we could cut down half a person to pay for it and plus be better.
I think when we discussed it, that half a person was going to the utility account.
Cause you had you had a part-time position open there, I think, yeah. Mhm.
Right, and that, moving it just over, still in the general funding, on the building, we're not saving that at all.
'Cause at the time, you had one retire, and you had a part-time position in utilities, so I thought the part-time utilities was gonna be what we were splitting her with, was that and that, but yeah. Mhm.
Workday to do utilities, but she's still has to be P&Z. So I think that that's probably gonna take over the half of this month too.
So she does half building department, half utilities.
Mhm.
That's a whole, right?
No, she's working over here half the time, and not doing P&Z at all.
P and Z. Yeah, I mean,
Well, I mean, she's gotta make copies and packs for P and Z, and she's sitting here, I mean, she could still do that, she don't have nothing else to do at the time, in my opinion. I mean, no sense if she ain't got nothing to do here, just sitting here not doing nothing. Utilize her time and make her be busy, no matter what side of the street she's on, if it's making copies, putting packs together, do it here, that's fine with me. I mean,
Well, I mean, there would be stuff here that,
Yeah,
to do
so-
council-wise,
yeah,
but,
that's what
you
I say, I
know.
mean, I don't know how much it would be and this and
Yeah.
that, so, I mean, but, yeah, so. We need to, we need to look at that, we need to look at that contract for the software. I think it's more than that, though. I think it's about 1,000 a month, so I think it was, maybe not. I thought it was, but I could be wrong. Mr. Seal don't have that saved in the computer?
I don't have that saved in my computer.
He's got everything else in there.
Yeah, everything else.
Yeah.
Where are you gonna put that?
I'm pretty sure it was fifty-seven.
Equipment,
Computer software?
computer software, and
So it's gonna go from
Yeah,
3 to
I think it was
15?
like 77.
If it's 12, yeah. If it's 7, it goes 10.
Ties everything together. Software was 77.
I think so.
Where you going? You can't leave. Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. No, no.
You figuring at 7 o'clock, we're on page 4, it's time to go home, huh?
he's going to get pizza.
Yeah.
Page 9, come on.
Hey, send pizza.
Yeah.
Bye, Ron.
Anything else on board? No.
No.
Yeah, about 40.
What's the capital expense for?
Which kind of, it's the one down at the bottom? It's 25? Currently 25, you want to change that to 40?
Now, has the judge spoken to you, Mike, about getting on with that link to be able to talk to the prisoners over the internet and stuff like that? Because there's gonna be a cost involved with that for us to be able to allow him to connect to that link, and he can do it anywhere, he can do it from his office. Okay.
Yeah, nobody's talking about it. I mean, this general fund is just for ourselves, you know, no,
Besides that, everything else is pretty much taken care of. Page 6.
So on administration, that's the mayor, secretary, director HR, ball field, insurance clerk, city clerk, comptroller, deputy city clerk, time 3. Well, I mean, just 3 deputy city, well, I don't know how many people we have employed today. I mean, this payroll we got here, there's no names filled out, so is every slot that we have on this page completely filled out? We don't know yeah, we don't know what we have, like Public Works.
You know, for these meetings, it would be helpful if we had the names in all of these spots. I'd
Yeah,
like to
see
have
what we
that
have
for the
open,
next
to
one.
see, if, you know, what we wanna do with those open positions.
So what is your plan, Mike, for the HR person?
Right now, plan is hold what we have.
You don't wanna advertise for that position? Then I would say, if you're not gonna advertise it, let's cut it out all the way. Save the money. The new proposal? I don't have that.
Yeah, we don't have that.
I don't have a payroll ordinance.
There is two positions, we do not, because there's some discussion also on IT person. If we're gonna do that, so that's why those two positions are left in it. And the pay is not what it's gonna be determined.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like to put this off, so I can look at it a little longer.
So this is the pitch I got. HR position. Got a few phone calls that the person in that position today is doing a very good job. Very dedicated to the city, does a lot of work, during and for, after hours. My proposal would to split the difference in that pay, which would bring that pay up to $18.89 an hour, which would be an $8,000 a year savings, and have that person continue to do benefits, HR, and recreation.
And all reason that both those positions in there now, is in case, I know Larry wants to talk about an IT person. And that's just, that money, that savings from that position come over to create that.
Well, you take yeah, let me see, so you take, yeah, so you took that $81,000 out, plus the $8,000, $89,000, I mean, from the budget I was working on. So that savings would pay for, you know, some increase in other 3 people or 4 people was looking at. So this is a whole new, I can't even talk about the budget no more, because with this, I don't know the numbers. You know, well, but yeah, this is a piece of paper, but this is the actual, what's my working document. So you change, you know, I got a spreadsheet here with calculations and savings, but now you took out $89,000 already. Or 80, yeah, well, right, you took out more than that, but I didn't know about it, right? So I can't say this is what I propose doing.
Where'd you take it out at, so we can track it?
With that $81,000 position,
Which position was that?
TBD, to be determined.
Oh, to be determined.
Yeah,
We don't wanna add a city clerk in here?
right. But I personally would like to, and the other council members need to talk about it, but I think I've gotten a lot of compliments about the young man doing the job,
I agree with you.
and and that's
I also would like to
go
see,
halfway with it and
I see
give him
you
the
have
job,
a-
and he's doing it.
you have a deputy city clerk, AP and AR. It's the same, almost the same job description, I would imagine, as deputy city clerk, GL, and purchasing and PR. I like those two rates to be matched.
Okay, even though one person's doing 7 years.
Yeah, it's the difference.
Yeah, you can't,
Yeah, it's the difference.
If that person's, absolutely, that person is doing an excellent job.
I know, it's just
And-
hard for a person sitting in one chair who's been here a long time. And this is true for all departments.
It
We have
is.
inequities in all departments just like that. Or one person has been here for 10 years and they've gotten the minimum raise every year, and then you hire somebody in today, sitting right next to them making the very same amount. It's very hard for that person
Well, how
to
come
deal
that
with.
person hasn't gotten their raise? They've been in there for 6 months plus. I asked you to put that on the next agenda. Well, I mean, on the next thing. I never got a response. I mean, so, you know, if we're talking about this, then this is the time to do it.
I
Would
completely.
the actual department head need to be involved in raises for their own employees? Does anybody think that that should happen?
Well,
Department head should be.
Well, and I said the same thing when we discussed raises last time. I know it's great to do across the board, and sometimes it can be touchy if you get to where you give the person discretion that's over them to do evaluation and do it, because if they got a buddy, they give them more, and the one they don't like don't get as much. But I think it really needs to be performance-based evaluations. I mean,
Well, we're talking, well, you know, we're
Yeah.
talking a 50 cent an hour raise.
Yeah.
We're not talking $1 and $2.
Mhm.
I mean, we're not
Yeah.
even, we're not even cost of living raises.
Yeah.
So to me, it
just
needs to be across the board because it's not, I mean,
Well,
it's a
problem-
penance,
Probably
right?
go across the board, I mean, if you give everybody 50 cent an hour raise, people that are making $12.50 are getting a nice raise, people that are making $20 are not getting a nice raise, so. I mean, I think it should be, some of them did, but not all of them. I'm just saying it should be a percentage basis
Yeah.
based on what your salary is, so you're not giving 50 cents to somebody that's making a low salary compared to some 50 cents to somebody that's making a much
Yeah.
higher salary.
some companies will do
Then
2.5
you're only getting
whatever
a
percent.
half a raise, basically.
But I do agree with Sissy on the inequities of giving somebody the same money, got the same title, somebody's been here 7 to 10 years. I mean,
Well, I'm
I've
not
been
even talking about my own department, I'm talking about, you know,
I'm
we've
talking
got-
in general. I'm talking, we got a
Yeah.
cop that's been here 5 years, and the cop that starts tomorrow is making the same thing, or a fireman that's a certain rank that's been here for 5 years, and if there wasn't a position open, no fault of theirs, because just nobody retired or moved on,
Right.
and somebody starts in today making the same salary, it's not fair. There's no loyalty to the long-term employee, and you have to have, and it's not their fault sometimes the city was broke and couldn't give a raise, or the council members didn't give it. That's not the employee's fault. That's,
Right.
situations happen, and.
And how do you handle the ones that go above and beyond? And how do you recognize them? See, that's the thing. How do you know, when these employees that are doing that, or if they're going outside, getting educated, they ask for more work or whatever, and you don't show them some type of reward back, what you're doing is you're killing their spirit. And then you're gonna lose those type of employees.
It's
and
the
lose
same
them.
thing, the one you kill in the spirit that's been here 7 years making the same money, you're killing their
Well,
spirit too.
let's take this example.
Huh?
If a person's been here for 7 years,
Mhm.
and they just gold bricked the whole time, and I'm not saying gold brick, they just did the bare minimum. They showed up on time or whatever, and then you had that same, another employee that was going out, getting extra education, or applied, or wanted to do that. Why would you not reward that person that's been trying to, increase their ability, their knowledge, to be a better asset to the city? Why not reward that person?
That's why I said some of it needs to be department heads to do evaluations and
There's no
go off
evaluations being done?
evaluations. I don't think it should be council members that have employees they like more than others that want to give them more money. I don't think that's how it should work.
Well, I don't think
mean,
that's what we're talking about.
I don't have firsthand knowledge of
That's a
everybody
terrible
works for the city.
insinuation. Why would you say that?
Well,
Really?
I just
Explain yourself, sir.
I'm not gonna discuss that, but,
Well, I mean, you threw it out there.
well,
Everybody's watching, you might as well finish your statement.
you know why I said it, I'm sure.
No,
so.
no. I'm just saying,
All right, come on.
I'm just saying,
Let's talk about the budget.
But Mrs. C, I agree with you, you're quite correct with the elected,
Well,
you know, and
my hands are kind of, tied.
Of course, it's commonsensical when you take a look at it. And people who do their best and try their hardest and get more educated, they will reap those rewards in time with the rest of the people who are gonna get their raises. Those raises will come, but it's gonna take time because, I can be gung-ho for the first couple of years and then decide I don't want to leave. It really depends on the attitude of the person. And I understand where Gary's coming from. But I also understand the reality of the situation is you damage the relationship you damage the relationship if you just give somebody a starting salary of somebody who else has been there for 7 years, 10 years, 15 years, whatever. It's just, it damages the relationship that they have with the city.
Let me ask, Councilman Smith just said about continuing education. I know we had a building official, a few years ago that we sent him to wherever he needed to go to, and he got all his qualifications, this, that, and the other. And I was noticing this year at the MML, who was all allowed, as far as the city, to go to the MML? Who was all, I know the councilmen were, but we had, I saw Sissy there and several more. Who was all in that package that was allowed to go to MML to continue their education? Yeah, yeah.
Put out, and they, put class and all the training classes. One comes up, there's more coming up. What department they'll go to, for the building they're going to classes.
Yeah, it was in this week right here. I think it was Monday through.
Was okay, saying continue their education, was the clerks, I know, how many clerks we have over there over across the street? Like,
One main clerk, you got deputies,
how many deputy clerks we have over? I know Charlene is one, I know.
Court?
Were they allowed, were they considered to go, afforded the opportunity to go to MML this year to continue their education? Sir?
There's always the opportunity to continue their education.
I know were they afforded that opportunity? Was it presented to them? Okay.
It was put out there, whether or not everybody got it.
I think it's emailed out to all of us.
It was what now,
I
Sissy?
think it's emailed out to all of us in MML. I got mine via email
Through who?
from MML. I got mine
No,
from
but
them.
see, we pay for it. The city pays for it to go. How did the city inform everybody
MML
that?
informed me through email. That's what I'm trying to say, is that's how I found
But
out
MML
about
didn't
it.
pay for you. The city paid for you to go.
Well, I understand that.
Yeah, so I'm asking.
And then I asked the mayor if I could go. I turned in my travel request, and he approves all travel requests. So that's how people go
Mhm.
to classes.
We didn't put anything out as a city saying, go to this class, we recommend you go to this class, or we want you to go to this class.
No, we don't
to
send a
get-"
memo out to the whole city. The MML contacts the members
I
and
understand
asks
that.
them.
That's what I'm trying.
Yeah, it was who? Yeah, because we're
Recommend
informed,
somebody go.
we're informed, they send us, packages and stuff, we're informed. So we are approved to go. We want a hotel room, we can get a hotel room. And is, and that's one of the things that we agreed with the citizens in the last election. That was one of their questions, but we can further our education to get our CMOs. My question was, how do, we do administration, the deputy clerks, and others, maybe that want to become that, how do we allow them the opportunity to continue their education?
Do they have to request it, I guess?
Yeah, unless it's something specific that comes across the table, and we'll put it out there to the one that needs to, you think is upset, to go to them. And they get emails from different things they belong to, and they put that requisition out, about, job pay or whatever,
Okay.
As far as MML, no, we didn't send a blank email out to anyone wanting to attend anything.
Okay.
That's what we need to do, then we need to look at it.
When is our job description and,
That's what I wanted to know.
and all that starting with the, Mississippi State people?
I think the city state put out that they were gonna start mid-August. They have other people in front of us in line, so we're
'Cause I think
scheduling
that's-
mid-August.
I mean, I think that's gonna
mid-August.
play a big part into future evaluations and ability to, for supervisors to do evaluations and understand, you know, what an employee is required to do in the position they're in, and then if they do go out and further themselves through education or, take more classes or, you know, get qualified in different things, then they may have opportunities to move up that they wouldn't normally see, since we don't have any other, you know, just kind of avenue of
And,
movement at this point in time, because we don't have any real description of what this job entails opposed to that job or whatever. But,
yeah,
But if you don't do merit raises based on evaluation, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
right,
You're
Yeah.
gonna cause more problems than it's worth. And understand, there's some employees that really go out there and they put forth their best efforts, and they need to be rewarded for it, but you gotta have the evaluation, you gotta have the paperwork to back up what you're doing. Because the people that don't get the raises will be harping on every time they can say something about it, they're putting word out in the street that they didn't get a raise and they do this job, this is it. They need to know everybody needs to know where they are.
Action taken throughout time, and they have everything documented. Have a problem holding from them still, they turn the corner
yeah.
and do it.
And the main thing about evaluations is you have to be brutally honest no matter how hard it is. If they doing a lousy job, you can't give them a good evaluation because you don't want to face them in the evaluating room and then say you want to fire them a month later because they've been not doing their job. So you gotta make sure they're brutal. Yeah. And I do agree with Mr. Hoffman and Mr. Noblock on the one thing is if they do get certified to be a city clerk or deputy city clerk, we need to make sure they reward it with some money because we don't want to be a training ground for everybody to move on once they get certified in a position to another city or municipality, or same with cops. If some of the academy, we don't want them to just move on once we pay for the school and training and certification.
Especially public works, especially for that, there is
Oh, yeah.
sometimes we can bring people in right out or just below people doing the same job, but they have the qualifications to do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Especially on the utility side, we get picked up guys from the county that is certified in a lot of things. An asset, not maybe as much as them, but not far from it, They're starting $2 or $3 less than what they gotta be. So I think,
Yeah.
some situations, you need to look at the qualification, whether it's just want to do it or not. Say, hey, this person, we need to pay what we can to get this guy, lady, or whatever, come forward with us.
Yeah, we do. Oh, I
On-
agree.
On these job listings, deputy city clerk, that's a sworn position, correct?
City clerk,
Yes, and I have plans for that person
So
too.
these both these people are sworn?
No,
I'm just asking.
not yet.
What was your question?
If both of these persons and the deputy city clerk, their listings are deputy city clerk, and they're not, only one of them sworn.
Y'all should probably just put a line through that deputy city clerk part.
Is that, so you're not gonna certify this person?
I had planned to.
So you're not now because I asked a question?
No, we're removing the title since she's not certified. And then we'll put it back on when she is.
What does it take?
Talk about how often you're gonna, look at somebody, somebody can't get 3 raises a year because they took 3 classes. You know, it's all good and everything, but you know what I'm saying, we did it last year. You can't do that. At their 1-year evaluation, you go, you took 3 classes, you get a really nice raise. You took no classes, not so much. You know, it's not every time you do something, it's what you did that year. And I don't think we're doing that right now. I think we're doing
That's why I think the job descriptions and handbook and evaluations will come into play a lot, I think, for the administrative side, for personnel. I mean, that's on them. We can just give some recommendations
That'll
here in
help
the meeting.
define
Yeah.
where there is no definition now. It will give us some boundaries.
Absolutely. All right, anything else?
Nope.
I know we're working on telephone, trying to figure something out of town, contractual services. We still have it at 66,000. We're looking at some opportunities there.
Which one's that?
On the telephone expenses,
Telephone expense?
530,
Uh-huh.
we're looking at some opportunities there, see if we can come up with something. Gotta get that all done.
Yeah.
Looking at legal services, have, hopefully next meeting, we'll have what's left on the board with, help, Dunbar,
Wise Carter.
Tommy Wise.
I said, when do we hire Phelps Dunbar? That's a new one.
Yeah.
So, on legal services and the, you know, you look at your bills, we pay the city attorney $14,000 a year to review our minutes. And the agenda. $14,000 a year to review our minutes and look at the agenda. And, you know, I guess she's reviewing the documents attached to the agenda. But just, you know, and I talked to her about it, it's not a ding on her, but if it's something that we can do, which I do, which we could all do, and we can make sure they're all right, and we could save $7,000 or whatever. But, you know, she has some legal, you know, she says she needs to review the agenda and the documents for the
I don't
agenda.
think anything with maybe
So,
enforcement, code enforcement, things like that, you know, we need that. Maybe make sure we have everything.
yeah, and I understand that part, yeah, but it's just,
For the minutes, maybe if we have, you know, the contract or something, you know, make sure. We need to work on that.
yeah, I
Wasn't
mean,
we-
it's just, and I talked to her, and it's, I don't think she's dead set for or against, but it's the expense that we paid it.
Yep.
To me, we should,
That would be a benefit of going to a set price too, I think, like we discussed before, if it's 80,000 a year for everything inclusive except litigation or something else, or whatever the numbers may be, maybe we need to look at getting a set fee every month
right.
and going forward with it. I mean, because sometimes council meetings cost us $1,000.
Oh, yeah.
In attorney
Right.
fees, if a council
$50
meeting.
an hour.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean. I was saying, sit here at a workshop from 4:30 to 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, and we got,
Well, and Trent's first
Bills.
thing,
mhm,
council meetings were included,
we'll include it.
included in set
Mhm.
fee.
I mean, maybe we can see if they can give us a proposal to do a, kind of a fixed cost on attorney fees, and we can get a better
All
budget.
plus,
Yeah. And then we got to determine what the plus is gonna be. I mean, what is the basic, 'cause that's where I think we, like Ms. Noblock saying, I think something went wrong with Trent's interpretation and the councils, past councils of what was included in that retainer fee every month, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, it was basic stuff. It was no,
Yeah.
he was covered in meetings. He,
Day-to-day
it was
questions or
day-to-day
something.
questions
Yeah.
like, something in the ordinance, but it didn't include litigation, it didn't do contract negotiation, or anything like if, you know, you had a personnel issue that you had to write something up with, that was different.
And then Trent's behalf, when he got in here, it was like a 80-hour-a-week job, I think.
But when Trent came in, we also had, you know,
A
a
lot
whole
of
bunch of
problems,
things
yeah.
going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Second day on the job was a rough
Yeah.
one.
I mean, you know, it's not big dollars, it's pennies, but it's
Mhm.
still, I think, you know, we're looking for $7,000-10,000 here, there, and,
Oh, yeah.
you know, every little penny counts, so.
I would just hate for us to, we can just have our attorney Gene review it, for no charge.
Yeah, I mean, I see no reason that we cannot approve our own minutes
Oh, yeah.
and put them in, you know, if If we find an issue, we gotta go back and pro-tunk them, that's fine.
That's right, and that's our
But I,
responsibility.
for 100 years, we've been doing our own minutes and approving them, and I think, I don't,
And
you know,
hopefully,
if all 7 of us do them,
Mhm.
all
Yep.
7 of us do them, they'll all be right.
Yep.
We'll all hear the same things.
Mhm.
If one person does them, I'm gonna screw them up.
well, and I think the new software will possibly help too with some of it being
Yes.
pre-worded
If it's
when we
worded.
get here,
Yeah, right.
yeah. That way,
Yep.
It's a
we-
template.
that will make it a lot better for us to review
Easier,
it and
right.
everything, yes.
Same place I
so.
stuck this one, maintenance grants. The same place I stuck that other number.
And some of the basic business, hopefully we can have it typed up to where we're just approving it, it's already worded on the agenda and everything, so it's not
Right.
much change from one to the other.
And it can be edited on the fly, so.
Yeah,
Cool.
good deal.
All right, so where are we now?
I'm kinda like Doug, I'm kinda, gotta restart looking at all these numbers again to really know where we're going. I mean,
Yeah.
When's our next workshop? Do we have one set yet? Tuesday? Cause I'd really like to look at this for a good solid day and go through it, instead of just going through page by page, looking at all these numbers real quick now.
So, Mr. Mayor, Sissy, do we have to just go through a payroll sheet to put the names in here to see where we're at?
No,
Or
we'll
were you
amend
gonna
that.
put the names in
We'll
here
amend
for
that,
us?
put the names out.
You're gonna put the names in there for us? Okay.
That'd be good. That way we just see what we have filled, and
Right.
again, I'm trying to count employees, and I was counting, I'm like, I don't think we got that many employees, but,
About 115 minus 7.
well, that's what I said, but I had 144 counted, because I was counting all the names, because I didn't know what was filled and not filled. So I was trying to put all my facts and figures together. I'm like, I know we ain't got 144 people.
Anything on 7? Page 8.
Hold on, Mike, what's, repairs, maintenance, and equipment, cause there's no number there?
Which one is that?
That's
Gary?
on 6, 120, 526. It says municipal league, and then right underneath it, it says repairs and maintenance equipment and vehicles. You don't have any numbers there.
Vehicle would be, well, hopefully we don't, then we got 500 for vehicle, and then we're not expecting anything on equipment.
That's administration there.
Yeah, that's for us.
That's computers? Computers is up.
Maintenance, repairs and maintenance.
Okay, computers and software is big.
Yes. No, not yet. Yeah, not yet. Page 8's building. Not a lot of change there. They asked for a few updates. Software, a couple of those items. I think it's a $10,000 increase.
I was talking to one of the building officials, and, they would like to look into getting, easier software to use, cause, Charlene was saying something like they have to enter a name like 4 times or something just to pull a permit or something.
Something they can log on to when they're out and about,
Yes.
see what's out there.
Exactly right.
You know, 'cause we got them laptops, now they need software to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they need to be able to do that, out in the field.
A good software, I mean, I would like to see if they could break it down by, by wards, building permits issued by wards and by everything like that too. I don't know if their system does it now or not,
The last one I got was, I didn't ask for it either though.
yeah.
The ones you presented for the year, with the new buildings and all this. So I'm sure they got the capabilities of doing it.
Yeah, they can create a database that'll do that.
Can they?
Yeah, do it by
Anything
streets.
on building?
Just, the last thing, fuel expense, we don't have any anticipated fuel expense for next year.
Yeah, we probably put 1,500 back.
We have
I don't-
1,500 every other year.
It's an allocation you get from the barn.
Yeah,
And so I don't even know, it's kind of a fictitious number, so I thought, well, there's probably no point in keep on that fictitious number.
Gotcha.
you're right.
So they're just taking it from general fund basically, or wherever
I take
fuel's
from
coming
Public
in.
Works fuel and put it over here, but
Right.
I have no basis for it.
Right.
That's what they used to do before I got here.
It's all right. They don't have fuel man or nothing, it's just cheaper to do it like that, or what?
Yeah, we talked about it.
Actually, the gas at Fuel Man is cheaper than what we buy from the tank.
I think we'll have fuel mans for building department. I mean, it would be nice to really see who's toting their own and who's not. You need a dashboard of, when I ran bigger companies, you had a dashboard. Service department, parts department,
Right.
sales departments, and everybody had to hold their own. You didn't wanna just rob one to make the other one look good. They had to, then you found your deficiencies and your weaknesses in the company and adjust it. So I think they need to have a fuel man card. Let's see what they actually spend in that department and have a better feel. Maybe we need to go up on permits and we just take them from the public works side. We could be putting more potholes filled or something else with that money instead of that. So that's just my thoughts.
We'll make an adjustment there, won't be, will we go back to 1,500, 2,500
We
something?
could get those man calls, and then we just start making calls and then all that. We talked about that with Public Works Director, about getting everyone fuel man cards, and he's very resistant, and I think they had some issues in the past.
Yes, I
Some
don't want
previous
that.
employees.
I'm not
Could they
sure.
put their own ID numbers in it? I have Fuel Man, or similar system, and
Yeah, it's a
everybody
PIN
has
code.
their own
Yeah,
PIN
PIN codes.
codes.
And I think maybe in the past, there was a situation where maybe somebody got some gas on fuel man in their personal car or something. Cause I think he's just hesitant about opening that up again.
Page 9, police, personnel, pretty much the same. There is a little, he's asking for a little more overtime, I think a $5,000 increase in overtime. Services, repairs. Up on repairs and maintenance agreement, which, that's gonna take the place of one of the agreements we have on computers. What is that upgrade on that?
I don't, oh, that,
That's that monthly fee, isn't it?
yeah, is that the $9,000?
Yeah.
That's the old quote from the old software, so the new
Yeah.
one would be much less. The original one with that new quote, that, Encode price quote. So it could be lower than that once they get that.
Went down on a couple things also, and down below, went up a little bit on its fuel.
We're gonna they really way down from the actual date.
On fuel?
No, that's about right, huh? Yeah, they're
Yeah,
gonna
but-
need
But
it.
you gotta figure too, a lot of that was at a cheap price, you know. And this year,
Yeah, it's going
started,
up.
I think we was down in 170s, 180s probably in gas, 190s. Looks like it's gonna stay where it's at for a while.
I noticed they're going way down on ammunition.
Yeah, I was just looking at the,
Yeah. I think they feel comfortable with what they have now, stockpiled and.
Okay.
Overall, I think it was up, right around $40,000 total.
why, capital expenses
Capital.
going down $25,000?
Huh?
Capital expense, capital outlay down at the bottom,
Uh-huh,
first one.
right.
That's the least truck,
Okay,
so it's kind of skewing the numbers.
gotcha.
How are they on the cars?
We just got 2 in today?
I
Oh,
think it's a
yes.
two that they would strike in.
That's a 2, yeah, that they purchased from the DOJ. And then he got a couple repairs on a couple.
And their computer system is good?
Is it what?
Their current computer system's good?
No, they looking at some upgrades on that. Their radios is gonna be purchased by 911 committee.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think it's 18 radios or something for them.
Weren't we gonna take that out of that DOJ money?
The radio, no, county's paying for them through 911.
That's all up.
So I think they purchase them for everybody. It's not a complete set, but it'll cover all the patrol officers and everybody. So they in pretty good shape when they come in. Page 10, fire department. Man, they killing me.
We waited them out.
Where'd he go?
He left. Yeah, no, he got a call.
What they did ask for, they want to create an inspector position. That person would also serve as a, fireman when he's there. He can answer calls, go on calls with him. He'd also be on salary, so he would answer calls at night along with them. They feel like they'll be able to cut out some of their overtime for filling in positions.
Well, but they're asking for a $20,000 overtime increase too, huh?
Yeah, but we're gonna look at that a little closer. But some of that is, still fill in. Not sure when the firefighters will be back. And they also have some extra built in just in case a hazard, something happens or something. Which, we can't always budget that. One of the things they've also asked for increase, they want their washer dryer system for their uniform.
Yeah.
I think we're wearing a welcome out waiting. They have the dryer set up, it just needs some modifications to do it, where they'll be able to hang and air dry everything. And then the big washer, they looking at that. The other main, what was the other system? Fill our tanks.
Yeah, they call it
Yeah.
Do what?
Same thing we have to fill our tanks.
Oh, fill
sometimes
the tanks,
they
yeah.
use. We have a system now, but it's about a dead system.
Doesn't have enough PSI to fill the current tank.
Nope. And so they're looking at that system also to replace it. I think that's out of that's the $250,000. They asked them to use that money to buy that this coming year.
How much
We
is that
have-
thing?
Mike, as far as.
How much is that?
About 30,000.
As far as the washer dryer thing, do we have money still left under our current budget for equipment purchases that we haven't made yet, that
Well,
we
they
could
just
possibly
purchased
pull
a set of
what do we need, about 10,000 for that, or?
about 11,000. And we have that in the budget also for this coming year, I think.
So the fire department payroll's up $60,000.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 20,000 overtime, what's the other 40?
That inspector position.
Inspector position.
That's if they create that one inspector position over.
Okay. Sorry, I overlooked that.
And,
So that inspector position, it's gonna be the business, fire business, person to go out and inspect all the businesses?
yeah.
But also
And
be able to run the
right
shift
now, we just got through with our ratings. They expect us to be around a 5.1. One of the things that opportunity to get some points on, according to the inspector, is the inspector position. Another one is our own training facility, and not anything major, but we have the ground behind it, the building to create it, and it's something simple. They would like to work in the next year or two for that. They feel like these two positions could get us to that 4.9, which would get us to a 4 rating. And they can be called back in, it's 5 years they'll come back. They can be called back in if they think we have, the adamant, to get it done. So this is a step to try to get us, one notch better.
How many
by
people,
itself.
how many people we have at the fire station too?
We usually run 4 and 2, and then at available, we got the chief and the assistant chief that can dress out also.
I mean, on the fire the other day, the one that happened over here on, Breland Place.
Yeah,
They had
4 trucks.
4 trucks, 2, I think one was Waveland truck.
Waveland was that.
And then, but, we had guys that volunteered.
They did.
Came in and were working, that they weren't even at the station house, man, we.
Yeah. And same thing, I guess the next day was Washington Street when we had that fire. This was one of the things that happened that day, talking about the inspector position. We had some people out inspecting. And assistant chief is the one that ended up taking the truck. And they all met up there okay, but it's one of those situations something could have happened where they could have been short because they out doing inspections and everything.
And just curious, can you charge businesses for inspection? Like, they come to my business every year, make sure I got fire extinguishers on the walls and check all my stuff, my fuel, whatever stored, and give me a list if I gotta fix something or not. I know it's part of it, but is there a fee you could charge for that, you think, by law, or no? I just don't know.
I don't think so.
We looked at charging a few years ago on the call out. The medical call out.
Yeah,
Somebody sent
There's a
out
fine
something.
line there too.
I
Yeah.
got an email today that somebody was saying about some type of, insurance that, if they respond to a non-resident accident that's caused by a non-resident, you can charge back the fire department fees to them.
To the insurance carrier?
I was
Yeah.
reading that same email. It was interesting. Be something to look into. I mean,
They say it's a thing that's
You figure-
going around.
Tow
There
companies,
might be
everybody else
more
gets a
for
fee.
Reverend Reeves, but I'm not sure where, we never did go anywhere with it, but it was discussed a few times.
Well, it had started gaining some ground in Texas,
Yeah.
and then it kept getting shot down and just was not followed. This other email is about non-resident calls, basically on the interstates and things like that.
Yeah.
That you could go back and back charge insurance
I'll
companies.
send that out, the number of calls they have.
Yeah.
It's ungodly, the number of calls they go on.
Oh, yeah. And probably 80% is medical, probably.
Yeah, but that's non-resident calls.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
Mhm.
problem.
Yeah.
Because it's residents call, that's where they talk about double taxation.
Yeah.
So it's the differentiation between resident or non-resident calls.
Yeah.
Did you ever look on your insurance policy on your fire? Mine, I didn't know, but mine paid $500 when I had my fire for fire department call out.
Huh.
I put it in my pocket because you don't charge. But
Can we back bill?
I am deadly serious. Look on your own insurance policy. There is money in there for the fire department.
But
We
it's
may be missing a
cleanup call.
opportunity there. Yeah, when they come out, and I think I ought to pay for it, everybody else didn't have a fire that year. I did. Those guys did a great job, But look at your
Yeah, but you're already paying for that. That's part of your property taxes.
in my taxes, but I overused, still I had a fire, and I got reimbursed for it. I'm not saying you have
Well, you should have wrote a check to the city
no, I didn't.
and took those guys to dinner.
But that's just like, but then you get into it too. I guess my thinking is you get into it too. If you don't never use it, you want a rebate from it.
That doesn't make any sense. The reason the insurance.
Well, there's a lot of things don't make sense, but somebody would ask that.
No, so many towns do charge for it, and that's why the insurance covers it. It's something to look at.
Times are changing. It's something to look at, just to
Oh.
consider it. I mean, like I say,
But that's their increase, equipment and that one personnel person. Page 11.
Other coverages not purchased, fire department charges.
I'm sorry?
Reading my homeowner's policy, other coverages not purchased, fire department charges. This coverage can provide you with variable protection to help you pay current with insurance needs.
Mine's on my policy, covers that one.
I got Allstate, so it's an extra. But, good point. Hey, every dollar counts.
Dude, that is like a magical computer. You got everything in it.
I'm telling
Everybody
you.
ask me. Ask Doug to look in his computer.
YouTube can do it. Starts every meeting, right? Every meeting you go to, you put something in there, and eventually, after 19 years, you have a few things in there.
Lisa, can you order me one of those magic computers?
Right.
With Doug's stuff loaded, preloaded in it.
Download all my files.
Yeah.
Put it all in your computers and boom, there you go.
We won't be done anymore.
I'll be gone one day. Moving on up.
Everybody will be looking for their computers.
That's
together.
right.
Might do that. All right, page 11. All right. This is written up just like we started last year. No additives. Might be some increases in maybe expenses as far as personnel.
We're on Public Works?
Yes. We have written it up. Do it. The difference is every, fill every position the entire year is what we would try to do.
How many positions aren't filled right now?
I think 3.
And those are all right-of-way people?
One retired, and we
Who
never did
retired?
fill that part-time. Jimmy Lacana.
Oh, that's right.
And so with that being said, before we get
So,
into it,
so Jimmy retired. So what do we do with his money?
Jamie got some of it. Jamie
Okay.
McKay took over.
Okay. That's what you're requesting, or that's what we already did?
That's already been taken care of.
Okay.
All that's been taken care of. So with this being said,
How do- My numbers never add up, and I know y'all can whiz in there and find them. But you're asking for $1,225,000. The payroll was $1,281,000.
huh?
What do I got screwed up?
Are you in a different department?
No, Streets and Public Works, and then, oh, yes, I am.
No, they match on mine.
Well, no, because I flipped over and got the top 3 in utilities.
Oh, look, I got my paperwork so screwed
I
up.
know. But on the
I didn't know
Streets and Public Works, you got $1,156,000.
1 million.
It's going up.
Yeah,
And then you go up to $1,225,000 on the budget sheet.
I don't know what you're talking about.
oh, on the payroll sheet?
Payroll, yeah, on the payroll
Oh,
sheet.
these two here is not matching.
You go to payroll sheet and you go to the budget sheet, one's $1,156,991.
It's
Yep.
perfect.
Okay.
Well, it's not perfect, it's like $200 off.
$200 off where? Public Works total?
Oh, yeah, I see what
No,
you're
no,
saying.
no, okay.
I know. but
Compared
What am I
to-
looking at wrong?
I'm looking at
115.
streets and public works section. Are
That's
you
it.
looking at the same one I'm looking at?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm hoping one you gave me.
Well, mine says 1156991.
Okay, but if you go look at the budget, page 11, it's $1,225,152. What's missing? That's all I'm asking.
156. We got 156, 963 to 991.
Well, it's a little bit off,
Yeah.
like $20-something.
Okay, I'm looking at the wrong number somehow.
You're saying 1.2, so you must be in a different department.
1.2 would,
No, he's off about $20 or so, $30.
yeah, 1.2, you're not looking at that next page bottom line where it's 124,000.
Oh, no, hold on. I got 3 of these damn things I'm looking at. Hold on. I'm looking at 712, trying to look back for what we changed. You're right, okay.
719.
I'm looking on the sweat 712 one.
Oh,
Try to
okay,
see
yeah.
the changes we're making.
Oh, and,
Yes.
I got it.
So that's why so you went from 1,225,000 to 1,156,000. Okay.
This is,
That's wrong.
some of the items we discussed.
Thank you, sir.
This is some of the before we get into this, we do have a bid in. There's some more coming, so,
Bid for,
huh?
bid for what?
Grass cutting, grappler truck, we'll bid the grappler truck out. Heather feels like we should bid that out. The other we can do on a contract services, you know, it doesn't have to be sealed bids or anything.
No, we didn't authorize anything to go out for bids.
Well,
Do we have a
that's
spec?
why we're gonna, tomorrow night, Tuesday night, we'll approve
Can we,
But you already got a bid in now?
can I get a copy
Not
of the
for grappler
specs?
truck.
Can I get a copy of the specs we're bidding out for grass, and as well as the grapple truck?
Yeah,
I just
me,
wanna see
me
what we-
also,
What we asking for.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, give me, I'd like to see
Anyway.
the bid specs for both the grapple truck,
Before-
you know,
before
what frequency.
Using numbers that came through whenever this service was provided last time. We're probably looking at.
You're talking about RCI?
Yeah, just this, whatever that was, 5, 6 years ago, the last time it was,
Mhm.
Now, what was you saying what Heather said?
about grappler truck should go out for sealed bid.
Okay.
And we'll get that approved at the meeting Tuesday night. So with that being said, we feel like we're looking at for the entire city to be cut, 603.90. Probably in that $800,000 range. Prices hadn't come down checking with other cities.
Nothing ever comes down.
Yeah, so that's not hard numbers, that's not anything, you know. Also, we feel like as far as mileage goes, Ward 6, probably close to half of the expense. Probably not quite half.
Do we have our current, what it costs the city currently to do this? Or some sort of-
Total of what it costs?
What it's costing the city currently to cut grass?
No. Not total, because, you know, at times during the winter, when they're not cutting grass, they do other things, but I mean,
I mean, I
we
guess,
got personnel that we say, if we contracted the entire thing
what are we gonna
out,
compare the numbers to, I guess is what
Yeah.
I'm getting.
but if we wanna continue to do it in-house, Wards 1 through 6, and that's what they feel like we, you know, on that list as, is what they
What we
feel
need.
like, you know, what some of the things is we need to do, and that includes 4 to 5 more personnel. I also feel like since Ward 6 is the biggest area to cut and keep up, that if we outsourced it, then they could keep up with what we have, Ward 1 through 5.
I mean, it's $165,000, 2 grass cutters and 2 operators. You want to lease tractors, you can lease 2 tractors. You own a $24,000 lease for 2 tractors. So you're right, $200,000. $200,000, you can cut the grass, you get 4 people to cut grass and take care of wards 5 and 6 for $200,000 a year.
Added to what we have now.
That would add 2 grass cutters and 2 operators,
And
and the 2 tractors.
the goal would be to have 3 people out there, 2 here.
Well, you just augment what you got, you'd put 4 more people on staff.
No, I'm saying 3 out there, 2 here in Wards 1 through 6, 1 through 5. 3 out there, and that would leave that 4th grass cutter to do 603 and all those big areas.
Them
of
4
main
people would
drain.
do everything out there.
Added to what we got.
Add to what we got.
Right now, we got 4 tractors there.
Okay.
So we're gonna take those tractors and use them, one of them in Ward 6, one of them would stay with the main drains, and then 2 others would do Wards 1 through 5.
I'm saying you buy 2 more tractors to go with these 4 people
Either lease
for $200,000.
in that range.
So we're
But
looking
they
at
also
basically $100,000.
talking and looking back,
crew.
most of the downtime on this is not the tractors, it's the attachments.
Mhm.
So I think on that list, there's a purchase of a boom and a side cutter. I think the total's somewhere around 30,000. And that's a 16-foot boom hooks up to three-point hitch, PTO. It's not, you know, with the hydraulics and all that. It's a lot less complicated, a lot less to go wrong, supposedly. So that's the option, you know, with what they've done. As far as vehicles go, we got a lot of dead vehicles. We're gonna look at auctions. They think you might get things just as cheap on state contract as possibly, you know, some auction items, depending on what kind of shape. We don't want nobody else's problem and all, but that's opportunity. We're getting ready to purchase one of the small dump trucks there. I think they came in at, have you seen 35,000 somewhere in there? It's like a 3-yard truck. And you wanna see how it's gonna work out?
So you're gonna bring that to the next meeting?
Yeah. Hope to have they got the price in, but what it is, they hope to, if this here can work out where we can dig the ditches and go straight into the trucks with our equipment, then they have 2 of them, and they just continue to run as they clean the ditches. They don't have to bring it up, put it in the road, come back, scrape it, and everything, and load it up.
You know, what you ought to also consider is have some type of, I don't know how you go about it, but have like if you're gonna buy these tractors for the Ward 6 and have a crew, you need to have a place to store these tractors. Going
Well,
back
that's
and
one of the
forth from the yard,
Yeah, no,
that
that's
has,
one of the
that
things
has to be,
we're gonna
that
look
has
at
to
is
be
buying
done.
a piece.
Cause they lose so much time going back and forth.
No doubt. And right now, we keep them by the fire department, whether or not that's, maybe if we had something out behind it,
Yeah.
instead of right on the road.
But I mean, housing, so they stay out of the weather, that's all.
You know, keep something out the weather and everything also.
Could they possibly, with the new system, could they possibly clock in and out there for lunches or
Yes,
different things, so they're coming
absolutely.
back to the yard?
That's been talked about, also it's been talked about, take lunch on the job.
That would save an hour a day per
Some
man.
do, some don't,
You know.
you know.
I mean, if we just wrote the policy that if, you know, maybe if they could just eat, you know, or maybe even split the crew up, if, you know, some of them can work on weekends during peak season, you know, and
Or
that
we
way.
can stagger in time, you know, and.
So like if it gets dark at
We have
8,
other people that can run that piece of equipment, that's, I think you brought it up before, a good option to where, hey, we can bring somebody in Saturday, work them Tuesday through Saturday. They can do other things, but that Saturday they can get on the tractors and ride too, or work from 410s.
410s are good.
Yeah.
You know,
There's some options they're looking at, but one of the options, and hopefully we'll have these other bids in by the time my next workshop comes, to know exactly what we're looking at. But there is, do we want, you know, we'll see what the prices are, and
If you
we
did,
can get rid of 6 at a reasonable price, then, you know, they would like to get rid of just because of the mileage.
So we have submitted a bid of RFP for grass cutting in the city of St. Louis to all the grass cutting companies.
We have not advertised that. We have reached out to some people.
Obviously, I don't want to bid on no more.
There's more coming. There's a couple
They,
of-
in the past, have contacted me and said, hey, you know, grass cutting is, we've changed a lot and the price can be more streamlined.
Like I said, we're going off 6 years, whatever it was, their prices until we get everything. And then we can present them to the council. There's a couple local people, you know, putting bids together. Utility partners.
Well, they can't put a bid together until we authorize that.
Well, on the contract services, they can.
Not at this
We don't
dollar
have-
amount.
Huh?
Not at this dollar amount you're talking about.
Not for contract. A service.
is it professional services, what you're saying?
Yeah.
Is that what you're falling under?
Yeah, for professional services, you don't have to seal bid it.
Correct?
I wouldn't fall back on that. And something that's $600,000 or more, we're gonna get sued. I'd like to get an opinion on that.
I got one.
Mhm.
I mean, you can call the other two and get one.
Well, you know, I just know that when the county bid the beach thing, you know, that was a sealed bid. Mitch Hardy got the first bid, and, 'cause I was at that opening, and that was years ago, and, you know, that was just covered all the beach cleanup. Now, maybe the county rules is different from the city rules, but I would say to protect our butt, we need to put this out on sealed bid, put it out for bid.
And make
You
it
think
more,
the lowest bid?
Well, I mean, that's up to y'all. I mean, that's up to us. We can go to lowest and the best and look at all the
If
options.
That's what we wanna do, then.
I
we
would,
need
I would
be
like to
in
give preferential to anybody that's local, I mean, because, you know, keep Bay St.
We
Louis.
also need to make
But I wouldn't
sure
want
they
somebody
capable
to
of
just
handling
accept a bid on us, and then somebody waltz in with another bid, you know, and then that's a, you know, that's kind of a free-for-all.
we have them find out and get an opinion,
Well, we'd have to, you gotta have, first, I think we have some specs, didn't we?
yeah.
I mean, 'cause when we, 603, I think we had some written specs. Or can those can't be translatable to the wards because the ditches aren't as wide, and
No,
so is it, you know, you cut 5 foot on the side of the ditch, or the right of way, or
yeah, I think
the
like
corner's gotta be cut so
603.
many feet. So I think,
And adding into the interstate, because the interstate looks awful.
The four corners, yeah.
Matter of fact, I was talking to somebody in Diamond Head, and they're saying their fuel sales are up. And they got some type of information, and it's because their interstates looks nicer. People feel safer taking that exit than they do taking ours.
And our streetlights haven't worked in a year on 603 and I-10. I mean, that might make a difference too, once it gets some lighting at that intersection. It's
Yeah,
been dark
they
all
on-
year.
They changing those out, the big overhead.
Yeah,
They
and,
got
and our
changing
lights
those
on
out.
603
They
haven't
putting
worked there
LEDs
anymore.
up there. 603,
It's coming, I know it's
be in
coming.
the 24th.
Yeah,
They probably start the 25th putting their lights in. The
Yeah.
reason they behind on 90 is a 480 volt out there took longer to build on 603.
but-
The initial plan was to do 603 first.
I agree, I mean,
Those came in, took a little longer to build because being 480.
but Diamond Head just looks so clean on the interstate with all the grass cut way back. If we could cut from where they leave off probably about a quarter mile before the bridge on the other side, then all the way to
Yeah, we
Hall,
wanna
and maybe
keep
to
that-
the,
We want to keep the ramps,
Mhm.
cut.
yeah.
Also, you know, getting back to this bid system, I can remember years ago, it wasn't all that long ago when y'all were negotiating your bond, and Heather's firm had gave a quote to bid whatever writing the bond was. And then Trent's firm came in, and they got into an open bidding war on this floor. That's something I've never seen before. And, I mean, I just don't agree with just grabbing bids from somebody on that kind of dollar amount and, you know, have an open, you know, if it would come down to that. I mean, you gotta have some kind of controls.
You know, I would just like to open up these bids to as many as can, you know, just
Yeah.
put the specs together, let council put these specs together. If you all have put them together, let us look at them, let us review them, and just, yeah, advertise. As many as want to come in and bid on it, let them come in. The more the merrier. I mean, and what if we're gonna bid it out, if we're gonna keep it in-house, I think we need somebody to train these grass cutters. Because the way they cutting grass, they went down, and I'm just talking about Washington Street. Whoever went out and cut that grass, the city should be shamed. I said if they, excuse my language, I said if when they go to the bathroom and they wipe themselves like they cut grass, they're gonna have streak marks. And they're gonna eventually throw them underwear away. Because there's no pride in it. They don't pick up behind themselves. So we've got to teach them how to cut grass, what we expect, our expectation. Just don't go out there and run over some grass and then leave everything everywhere. Yeah. You know, I think there need to be, and I think it comes from the head of the department, you know, that there needs to be some expectation on what we require
There is, I
when we
think,
cut
since we
grass.
restructured that.
Because if we do it right, it's just like in my business, anybody's business, if we do it right, we won't have to do it often. And it won't require that many cuts. But if we do it like they're doing it now, then it's just gonna pile up and pile up and pile up, and it's, you know, although they cut grass, it's gonna look tacky. And our city is not that way. Our city is not tacky.
Yeah, I agree. I think you'll see a difference. I think some of the moves we made has helped. I think the GPS is on some of the equipment has helped. I think me and Monica get more, and they've taken actions when needed.
And I appreciate the overtime they put in out there getting the grass cut. it's been helpful. So, I do agree with Reverend Reed there that, you know, just gotta take pride in their work and ownership of it and do it right. And that's the thing, when we look at these prices, we can't just look at dollars and cents, because if they're gonna offer 12 cuts a year or 6 cuts a year, and we're only truly getting to cut 2 or 3 right now, that's gonna be a big difference in service, not just price. So we need to make sure we consider all those factors when we start looking at this.
Well, when we write a bid spec,
Yeah.
they quote the bid spec. They
That's what
don't
I'm
say,
saying.
well, I think it only needs to be cut twice, and we wanna do it 10 times. Just like 603, center medium cut, grass will be cut 4 inch height 24 times per year. So they ought to bid, if they cut it
Yeah.
40 times, that's their fault. I only
Well-
wanna cut 24, that's what I'm pay you for.
I'm
So everybody
saying-
does the same thing.
I'm saying comparing in-house to say it's gonna cost us 200,000 to do it. Or we're gonna get it cut twice a year for 200,000, because the tractors are always broke, or people's on vacation or sick, or we're gonna get it cut the same 10 times a year to the same quality
Right.
that a contract company's gonna do it for. That's,
Right.
the
That's
specs
right.
will say it, but I wanna make sure we're getting the same thing
Oh, yeah.
in-house if
That's
we
what I'm-
keep it
that's what
in-house.
I guess looking for too is in-house, what are we accomplishing now and how much is it costing us
Yeah, I mean, 'cause
to accomplish that? Because
We'll try to
we've gotta
break
be able
that
to
down to
compare apples to
best we
apples as
can.
far as that goes.
yeah.
I mean, we can throw
The
out-
only thing, like, if we did do like the plan like Doug was talking about, and commit a team to like 5 and 6 or something to cut that grass as a team, then you can't, they have to also manage their time off. In other words, you know, if they can take off the same time, in other words, no more than 2 off on vacation at a
Right.
time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's not, we're talking about grass, okay? It's not grass.
Yeah.
It's grass in the summer, ditches in the winter.
Yeah.
It's roads, it's pickup.
Correct.
It's everything.
Yeah.
So those 4 people are, they maintain 4 and 5 and 6. So, you know, when it's winter time, they get in the back of the ditches, they get the ditch witch out there. So the clovers, so it's like the old beat system.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
They're dedicated to that, so it's not, okay, I'm gonna pay somebody $300,000 to cut grass for 6 months out the year.
That doesn't
Well,
include
that
ditch cleaning.
300,000 goes away in the wintertime. So what am I doing for that, you know, so, yeah, I understand the quality of work, but also the magnitude of what we're gonna get for your money.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna bid me 4 people and 2 tractors, and you're gonna say it's $150,000 a year, and the year's 2,080 hours a year for each person, then I'll take them.
Yeah.
But if I'm only gonna get them for 1,400 or 1,040 hours a year, and it's gonna cost me the same amount to hire somebody full-time in the city, well, I'm gonna get the full-time city person.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm gonna have them year-round to do the magnitude of the work, not just cut the grass.
Oh, yeah, exactly, especially like, not just more 6, but if a storm's coming, they could be doing preparations through the whole city to get culverts cleaned or something. If you got them extra people and something like that comes up, your employees,
Yeah.
you can utilize them different ways,
So
so.
contracts, it has its pros
Yeah.
as well, you know, because they
Yeah.
cut a foot of grass, they get paid for it.
Mhm.
But again, when they go away, after they cut grass,
Mhm.
what do you have?
Yeah. No.
Right now, I don't see how they, even if we had a big crew, wouldn't be able to cut the grass, 'cause I mean, how much grass cutting did anybody get done in the last 2 days?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's just atrocious out there, and the grass not stopped growing, it's growing twice as
Even
fast.
going forward, you
Twice a
know,
week.
Huh?
Yeah,
even going forward the next day or two,
that's
once
every
it
year
stops
around this
raining,
time of year.
you can't come out there
Twice
the
a
next
week.
day and start cutting grass. You going through
But-
slop, so.
But I can be honest with you,
Catch up when you do get behind.
if you had,
Well,
That's where
here's the
some of
thing,
that
if we're
could
having a
work.
lot of rain,
Be on Saturday.
then they should stop cutting grass and start opening up those ditches.
I was about to say, I mean, the last 3 days, if
I
you
mean,
had
they should be
crews out
getting
there
those rakes and things and open up culverts.
Yeah.
with backhoes, they could be digging up some of these stop culverts, not going to lots, and
Or if they are,
Fixing a
or
lot
if
of
it
the
is
roads.
rain and they can't work, then they need to be changing oil, greasing those tractors, making sure those blades are good. You know, I mean, nobody sits around.
No, I'm just saying, you can't keep up your pace on grass cutting, you have
Oh, yeah.
the upscale crew, and still not be able to get the job done on time when you have weather like we've been having the last few
You
weeks.
gotta have a way to catch up.
oh, yeah.
You gotta, whether it's come in and
Right?
stagger
Always had a
days,
saying,
working where you working
you get
5
one
or
good
6
round of cut, and you're back caught up again.
Well,
All it takes is that one
I mean,
stretch of daylight.
ideally, that thing is to make a round every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
They can do it if everything runs good. No delays.
And get it synchronized to where,
First time like now with what we have, and that machine goes down for 2 weeks and another one goes down for a couple of weeks, and they both down, or 3 or 4 down at the same time. You you know, then as of now, you know, working overtime and everything else. But
You know, the
Gary's
only,
got a good point though, too, about staggering that days and.
that way you're cutting 7 days a week.
And it's 4 10-hour days better, you know, and when they cross that, they, you know, some of them get on the weed.
That's a very good incentive, give a guy a 3-day weekend.
The thing about 10-hour days is good is like a construction crew. They spend the first 45 minutes in the morning getting extension cords out, getting the saws ready, getting everything ready. So if you had, they did more production instead of picking it up in the evening,
You should
you
get
get more
work
work.
out of those extra 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, because you're not spending your time
You should get
getting ready and
an
getting
extra
on
day's
ready.
work by working 4 10.
Yeah.
But your public works director would have to make sure that he's out there, that these things are getting done, you know, so.
Mhm.
Oh, the boss is gone, we're gonna go hide somewhere.
Mhm.
They got a few of them now.
Yep.
That's everywhere, buddy.
They got a few of them going and looking, and they got GPS is watching too. So,
$33 an hour employees that do that.
Yep.
so we'll put that together and see what we end up with. But that's just, as of now, everything was flat in that department. Until we see what we want to do with that.
I do too. I got to go pick up a child, y'all, I'm sorry.
What page is that? 12?
Yeah, Mike, we on page 13?
Yeah.
Anybody got anything with that? Not much there.
No, there's just something I need to check on, somebody paid the PO wrong.
On
But,
13?
yeah, that department's dead.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go to 300, so somebody must have missed it.
Which one was that? Parks and Rec and
Parks and
property?
Property Maintenance.
Yeah, that was combined with 300 a couple of years ago.
So we was pretty much about $40,000 to the good. So now
We're
we
not
added
anymore.
29, 39, 44, so
So we just cut that department out, Parks and, we're gonna
that's
revisit
been out
that.
for a few years.
But, yeah, because, you know, our kids and our part, MML had an interesting class, of what parks and recreation means to a city, and extremely, helpful. And it was something that, they suggested that every city we need to revisit that, look at it, for the sake of not only the kids, but for adults. So I think we need to revisit that sometime in the future. I don't know whether we can do it in this coming budget, but,
Well, I think it needs to start being looked at. We do have,
yeah.
I think it's under Public Works, you know, a little bit in there. There's not a whole lot, but I do think it's something we need to look into. I think, it's something we don't have anymore. We have somebody looking for grants, summer program, like we talked about before, bringing
Mhm.
some of the younger ones on board. Also some other opportunities with some
Well, and
programs.
like
to go.
everything else out there, it's all aging infrastructure. I mean,
Yes, it's part of it.
we
And-
decade and a half past Katrina now, and, you know, everything got rebuilt or redone kind of right at that 2006, 2007 mark, but we coming up on 12, 13 years, and
Yeah,
everything's
yeah,
starting to
yeah.
break down and fall apart, and,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
And we've got some opportunities coming with the playgrounds and all, fix them up a little bit, looking, I think we have two good, and I don't even know if we have that in the budget yet. But we also have those two sidewalk projects, I think it's gonna be a good opportunity in 19, where they actually start in 19, with the end out there, you know, how that goes. But I think it's two good opportunities on Byron and Washington Street. We'll put that in here, and as far as, I think we're looking at probably $100,000 match on those two projects, that we need to come up with funds for that also. So we'll add that. And if the school jumps in and takes half of that one over there, so be it, but if not, we still need to two areas where kids are heavily populated and a lot of traffic on those roads, so.
Yeah.
They made a statement, I can't remember whether it was in this Parks, class or the, municipal land use. And he said that he gave 5 trends that was, taking place not only nationwide, but worldwide. And he said, now kids, parks, kids, things like that, that is not one of the trends that's gonna fade out in America. But he said in other nations, you know, and I was shocked with this here, he said in other nations, like Japan, they're selling more adult diapers than they are baby diapers because of the way families are restructured because of the lack of kids. But it says America's different, you know, and America's never, well, he didn't say never, he said that's not one of the trends that we're looking to, is to take recreation away from kids and adults. He said that's a trend that's going to be in style for years and years and years to come. So he said that every city should, you know, look at that, you know, upgrading their parks, you know, not only for this generation, but for the next generation.
You know, what about, like, I know, like, your district, you have a lot of kids, and why not upgrade MLK Park with a splash pad or something? Maybe we should try to do that.
It's something we're working on, trying to find the grants or whatever we need to do, in kind donations or something, but we have some opportunities there, hopefully it comes through.
How much does something like that cost?
I think,
I'm not sure.
Wayman down there, I think we can do it.
How much did the other one cost?
Which one?
160, 180.
Yeah.
We can probably do one like Wayman got for like 15, get it done 18.
And I think every park should have one.
I don't know where, 50, that or whatever, but, you know, that's like, but the guy, I think, what's the beach guy, takes care of the beach for the county, I think he's gonna build the one in Wayman.
Oh, he built that one?
I think
Who
so,
did?
too.
Who built it?
I don't know his name, but I know Julie Sienna and Regan Kane worked on the one by Dunbar,
Okay.
you know, because they found the money for that. I don't know if that was a grant or not. But I mean, I could call Julie or Regan, one of them two,
I
and
think
find
Mike
out.
Janelli was big into it,
Mike Jamelli?
I think he was in it also.
It's well used.
Next one, utilities. We're looking at adding to the sewer income of $3 to pay the $120,000 a year SRF loan, the second half of that.
What page you on, Mike?
I guess it's 15.
Okay.
Oh, Mike, let me
First
get
page
one thing
utilities.
before I get away from it, because I saw it in here. On this wish list, you know, like this tank maintenance for the water tower for 50,000. I was talking to David Patallo, and he says, before you enter into an agreement like this, he really recommended that you have your tanks inspected first, so you can find out the current status of them.
They do,
Hmm?
they do.
Who,
We've only got one price on that one.
to get them inspected, just to
come in
see
and
where you're
get-
at with them? How much is that?
His price.
Not David to look at it, but he,
No,
no.
We'll get, when they come in, they'll have to inspect them and everything and see where they at. This here, you know, we just threw a number out to create it until we get the prices for that, same thing.
But this is part of that capital maintenance fund.
Yep. Yep, the money would come out of the capital maintenance fund for that. But anyway, we would go up, add $3 to that, that's gonna be about $120,000 a year. We need to come up with to pay the second half of that SRF loan. Also, I think on garbage, on the county and the city, we punched in $1, Sissy? We punched in $1.
There's about 4,197 accounts that I could guesstimate from the data. There might be more.
Yeah, so we do have the increase, but we punch a dollar in, whether or not we need the whole dollar, up to, we wanna cover our costs for sure,
It's got to- By law, you have to cover your cost,
yes.
enterprise fund.
And,
Excuse me, which one did we add that 122? You said the $3
sewer income.
sewer
That's a flat
income.
fee for that.
Okay. Okay, I got you.
And then on the garbage, we'll add $1 a month on that to cover the cost of that increase. And we'll get the exact amount, and if we wanna cut it back to the exact amount, we can do that.
My biggest concern is, and nobody's ever been able to give me an accurate number, is how much does the water cost?
Well, I think Jason's still working on it. Pop came up with a number what it cost, and then Jason's working on it also.
Well, he gave me a message today that he's not gotten those numbers.
No, you don't have them yet.
Any
So
idea
we'll
when
get-
he's gonna have that?
We'll get him on that now.
93 cents a thousand in 2014.
Does that include maintenance and everything?
Yep.
Everything.
$0.93 a thousand?
You said the state has a program, they'll come to the city. I don't know if it's free.
No, they
Probably
don't.
not.
They don't.
Oh, he said he did.
I've asked for years to have that company come in here and give us an analysis of our systems, and yeah, and they don't exist. I gave up asking.
You know, we talked about that earlier too, you know.
He
Yeah.
just said it in a meeting, I can't believe he lied.
Well, I know, but I mean, for the last 3 years, we've talked about getting these people in here to do this freaking audit, and never did.
You were in that class.
I'm sure they do, but I'm just saying,
The
we've
city's
asked
so
and asked and asked for that.
You know, one of the things we talked about earlier too with them was, you know, some may feel we need to go up on this and reduce this. Right now, utility is paying for itself, and we're still putting money on the side every year. So I mean, we could go increase this and decrease that. Do we wanna get into the thing where we up and down on gas prices? Do we have anybody that wants to monitor that, or do we?
Well, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I
You
wanna
want
make
the
sure we
price
got
to make
accurate
sure-
water.
right.
Just water.
Yeah. So that's pretty much revenues. The increase is going to cost expenses.
We do pretty good on late payment penalties.
Yeah.
Sissy, on debt service fee revenue, what was that?
$13,
Oh, that was a $13 thing, okay,
so that we won't have it again.
okay.
That's what she said.
Page 17. I'm missing 16. Well, I got a 16. I got a 16. Gotta make them numbers bigger.
We haven't, So with the new cost analysis, I forgot I had one of these. Saying it's 49 cents per 1,000 gallons. I just did this one a couple of years ago.
That's the one he handed out a while back.
Yeah,
And that's
forgot
based
about
on, I
that
think Josh gave him some information,
Yep,
but I think they feel that some things might have been left out, and that's when Jason was
right,
supposed
that's
to.
what he's trying to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He gave that out, I guess probably been 4 or 5 months on.
yeah,
Yeah,
about 4 months.
yep. 82 cents is the high end and 49 cents is the low end. So, forgot about that one.
Page 16, question. Is that right? Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's just the admin side.
Yeah.
Two different sections.
What's the
So we-
audit
we
fee?
paid off-
Is that for the CPA firm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Paid off a couple of these debts, that's why the middle one, that contractual services is going down.
Right.
Yes.
And the
$310,000.
Katrina closeout cost was also
Right.
skewing those numbers.
That's good.
119, yeah.
119 and 144 is two numbers that we don't have.
And that's still transferring, 245 to capital maintenance fund. Did we take out the 50?
Well, the 50 would be an expense,
Yeah.
so I put that in the expenses.
Okay, okay.
Why are we seeing such a jump in wastewater expense?
That's, SRF loan included in that,
No.
so that,
About 120.
Or is that drain water getting into the system?
no, that's strictly on SRF.
Big number.
Should be over $1 million. 1.1.
So Mike, what's SRF again? That's, did we do,
The revolving loan fund that we got for 20, 30 years ago.
I don't know how long ago.
Yeah. It's a loan that the whole wastewater district, I
County.
guess, the county is.
Yeah.
A long,
I guess
long-
to build infrastructure, some after, was it after Katrina or before?
I thought it was before.
But anyway, it's been kicked down the road, and I guess everybody was hoping it would get relieved, you know, after Katrina, but it didn't, they want their money.
They put it off after Katrina.
and how much we owe altogether?
With just 20 years worth of notes each one of them.
They put it in forbearance and then didn't
I don't know
cancel
what
it.
the total amount is, but
Now we gotta pay for it.
So this is gonna go on for a long time.
They were asking for some of the store money to.
and the county's looking at possibly paying some debt off of them, so that could reduce our, end up being a direct reduction in what we would pay total.
We do need to probably get some more definitive history
Yeah.
behind the SRF loan, so we can explain to people what it was for, Mike.
Huh?
We probably need to get definitive dates and times the SRF
Okay.
loan was made, so people ask what the $3 was for, we can like say,
Okay.
this was done, the treatment plant was upgraded in whatever year, and then from then we've been forgiving the loan until today, we gotta pay it back.
How much we gotta pay a year on this?
You got
And
budgeted
the
of
second one
1.1
is gonna
million.
be right at $120,000.
Oh, okay.
We'll get that information. Page 17. He has asked for one more helper to start training in that department, and I think it's a 1050 job. And then, yeah. I think I think the vehicles he's asking is under this one's for public works too. Or you got one here too?
Yeah, this,
Okay.
yeah, he had already put that in his budget.
Okay.
I don't know what all it was in, what all it
68?
was, but he had two vehicles.
Okay.
For sure, I remember. And the other 50 is just in case we need to fix anything major on a lift station
Yeah.
or whatever. I just plug that in just in case.
There is, we do wanna look at a portable pump.
Like the one they have at Bay Oaks right now?
For bypassing. We ran into a problem the other day, you know, we just replaced that motor.
Yeah, I saw that.
pump. Had a bad bearing, they took and replaced it, got it back in.
They charged you for that, or was that part of, was that still in the warranty?
I think they got, you know, I think it should be part of the warranty, should be. The other pump that the air is shut off and overheated trying to keep up. They looking at maybe
Putting a third motor in there?
well, putting a thinner oil in this one to keep it from heating, from heating when it's running long periods of time. But looking at the backup, all possibility of not sure the price for a stationary, permanent third pump at that station. That's our main station.
Now Jerry was saying something about the valves need to be replaced, so when they take the motor out, are they working on the valves?
Yeah, something after the storm.
They're not opening all the way?
Contractor said it was okay if we just take and clean it and this and that. Need some work done on it, probably.
So Jerry's tearing up those valves right now?
No, not right now. That would be a major job, I think, coming in. I don't know if we do that or not. Maybe I have something together with that in the portable pump, see what needs to be done. Besides that,
But that would come out of the capital maintenance fund if we had, if we needed it, because that's gonna be big money.
yeah, the pump too, both of them.
How much is a pump?
I don't know, they trying to get the price on that. I think that's a 6-inch over there, but I think they wanna go ahead and get the 8. That way.
That's a big pump.
So on 18, what he's requesting, we're looking at 36,703 over revenue.
Yeah, and what we would do there is just put that much less into the capital maintenance fund. Reduce it down.
But part of that is that 120,000 we gotta pay on it. A good part of that is that 120,000 we gotta pay on that loan.
Right.
That's
That's
been passed down the road for 30 years.
Yeah.
Well,
That, and if we enter into a contract, we got 50,000, something like that out there. We don't know what that contract's gonna be,
Right.
for daily maintenance.
It's just-
Those push for a long time, looking at this guy's
2010.
little thing. Theirs is really,
What you want?
not that you have to sign a 24-year contract, but it's really a 24-year cycle. And in that time, you would get 3 exterior, 3 interior painting. I think every other year, they come in, inspect inside your tank, wash it, clean it, everything on the inside. They do daily maintenance, not daily, but, maintenance on the outside as well, throughout the year and everything. But and the reason they can do it, from what he has stated, is cheap, it's the painting included in this, is that they don't wait to the point to where they have to sandblast. They gotta sandblast, that's where the big expense comes in.
That's covering both tanks?
Yeah,
We got two, correct?
yes, we would cover both tanks. Wade got with Brent down in Wayland, got who they use, so we'll be the price. But that's how they, he tell you the first 12 years, you'll get 2 exterior, 1 interior paint. The next 12 years, you get 2 interior, 1 12. They stagger them. Ooh, Harbor, I think, is relatively flat, with the exception of adding a person, or a part-time person, part of a person. Let's see,
I need to look at that, 'cause it looks like it's stable, but I must have some kind of number wrong somewhere.
It's like they're gonna be way up over budget next year.
Yeah, I wonder if I have some kind of processing solution.
That's the same.
Current budget, we on $1, and the next one, we minus
You got an
167,000.
increase, one thing increase is the, personnel budget,
Something increased,
$19,000, something like that,
but
17,000.
revenues went down as well. Looks like you got $150,000 less revenue.
Well, the beginning cash balances are not there, which they shouldn't be there yet, because we don't really know. We need to take out ending cash balances, that's one major problem.
Where is that?
What page?
Page 21, ending cash balances, since we don't have beginnings, we shouldn't have endings.
115.
plus 122. All that needs to not be there at the moment.
Which one?
115 and 122?
The last two items there,
Yeah,
on the
because
capital.
it's making it look very inconsistent, so.
Yeah,
It's
so
like, how
that's,
does this add up?
So that'll put us in the plus.
That'll put us,
put us a good $60,000 in the plus.
60,000 plus.
A little better than 167,000 negatives.
So
That's a
that,
little
that has
stressing.
stayed the same. Except for that one part-time person.
That's being 60 grand in the plus, not 160.
Any questions on any of that information needed for next one? Personnel with names,
Personnel with names.
right, and open positions. show-
Yeah, I mean,
show the open.
You know, I would like for us to look at the HR position and look at that HR position and just go up half on that one.
We'll
Balance-
put that in there.
Balance
We'll
that
make that-
1889, I think.
And creating that IT position, but
Yeah, if we're
if
gonna
we
create
can,
an IT
if we
Where's
can split that
Larry?
HR
What-
position.
Larry, and also I know the chief is interested in, do we bring an IT person in or do we contract it out? And Larry, you know, he has talked with some people and
Right, and basically what we're looking at is getting the same services that we've been having, plus in addition to services that we don't have, at a cheaper rate. And, not having to pay out insurance and all that other kind of stuff. And so we can contract with these guys, and we'd be getting more services for less money,
If we, instead of hiring somebody in-house.
instead of hiring somebody in-house. Because my concern with that is, if we have an IT guy in-house, I mean, it's not every day you have problems with the computers.
Right.
Even though we do have as many computers as we have. And these guys can either come here or log into the system and do whatever needs to be done. So we would be saving a lot of money.
That goes back out to proposals then, right?
Yeah.
What's that?
That goes back out to RFPs for computer or IT services. We had that company come in from Mobile at that one time. Gave us proposal, and Omni come in and gave us proposal.
They got some other ones. I know they got a couple.
We only had two, I think, that was interested in our,
But
what
we
we
need to
had.
get some specs
Yeah,
of
and I
what we
don't-
want. I mean, we
Yeah.
gotta get all of it in the same proposal, so we can maybe wrap it into one deal, or maybe two if we need to split it some kind of way.
Yeah, because they,
Hardware and software, but
well, Omni's already given us a proposal, and so have Slidell. So,
right. But I'm just saying, as far as,
We're gonna do a sealed build on it?
we seem to be hitting stopgaps instead of having a complete,
well,
I mean, maybe.
at the end of the day, you can't afford it. So AGJ proposals come in to give us a proactive or instead of reactive, price, and it's,
Too expensive.
well, it's just a, I don't remember what it was.
Ms. Rachel, did you have anything else to add, public forum wise, or you? Okay. Yeah, it's pretty open meeting, so.
But when we rent something, we have nothing at the end of it.
Right.
When we buy something,
So you're fully proactive and reactive, unlimited business hour support, 92,000 a year. Same as one less users, and that's what, you got 75 users, then the next one's 55 users, which no police department, 73,000. Then you have on-site $100 an hour during business, normal system monitoring, typical day activities, $38,000, but that's just reactive. And then that was with 70 users, 55 users is 31,000. So really, what do we pay today for Omni minus the hardware? And that's what you're looking at proposal here.
proposal that we were giving us $2,800.
We still, on personnel, we still wanting to
I'd like to add raises for anybody that has not gotten a raise this year. I mean, not a raise, but a promotion and a raise. Now what, that's probably 10, 20. How many people? I was trying to think the other day, is it really that many? Yeah, right. Yeah. So, I mean, I was trying to think that, in the shower, I was thinking, I really ain't that a lot of people, huh? Yeah.
One thing Public Works talks about is time. You look at that, right? You got 4 tractors, all 4 with some skill. These want to do, I guess, kind of what the police and fire structure, where they just would get operators, get this, get some in the.
Well, well, when you get your job descriptions, you get your starting pay. But right now, you can't give a guy that's been driving a tractor 20 years and a guy that comes out of high school, start driving a tractor, the same dollar. So you gotta start somewhere, and I think with your job description, you start and then you are. Right. 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 So y'all like to know about the SRF loan? This was taken after Katrina. Yep, so it was, back in 17, was supposed to, start paying, we owe $10,100,000. The final payment will be on September 1st, 2032. Yeah, well, this is 2017. Yeah, resume payment, well, it says resume payment January 1st, 2017, and then the next loan, January 1st, 2019. And that's $24,000 a month.
Can't beat the interest rate.
That comes out of utility.
1.75.
24,660 divided by 3, right? Or how many?
40% about it.
Okay.
Cleveland's about 30 something. About 23 of us would say 90% Burlington,
Right.
How much you got paid this year,
Well, it's your 2 loans, okay? That's what I don't. The other loan's $39,373 a month. And that one was supposed to start at January 1st, 2017. Okay.
we paying that.
Okay, so then this one, the January 1st, 2019 is the 24,660 that kicks in this year. That's right, 40% is 80,000 or 120? Huh. Oh, well, yeah. So we don't need a 120 then this year, we need, put money into going forward. Then next year you'd have to go up the dollar. Yeah,
We need 90 this year and then
120 next year.
120 next year.
Percentage use. Right.
Yeah, they're cutting out a nickel per thousand.
There's no sign of it, nothing. They said they would throw it kids 3 years, 85, working in San Queen, up and all there, Maine, and they would use fair, and so they would use the 85, so, you know, pile of money.
And that nickel.
Whole pile of money in one court fee.
Over
Over.
$3,000 a month, I think. It was something, yeah, I don't even think it was that high.
That's ridiculous.
Paying the attorneys.
Hopefully, two boards can get together, maybe we'll
Important to have signed agreements.
That's it.
They were slinging around, everybody agreed to buy this water from us. And I'm like, oh, no, we didn't. Here's the damn minutes of the meeting, buddy. Show you the minutes of the meeting. We speak through our minutes. We ain't agreed to nothing.
That's right.
We only agreed because y'all needed us to agree just so you can get the money to get it built. Clearly shows that. It's in its magic
When's the
computer.
next one gonna be?
We got council Tuesday, right?
Council Tuesday.
Thursday?
We have something, don't we have something before the council meeting Tuesday too? We already got it set up.
Yeah, it's not this year.
I think for the most part, until we find out some more information on outsourcing,
That's on making State Street one way.
we probably haven't approved the utility and, harbor and everything else. We want to approve them, final on the road. Anybody see any change, anything? At least get those out of the way, I would have it.
You wanna go next Thursday, y'all wanna go July 31st, Tuesday, following?
31st is P&Z.
Okay. Or Monday the 30th,
Yeah, Monday, we do Monday,
Monday the 30th,
5:30.
5:30, Monday the
So
30th.
what will we have Monday at 5:30? A completed budget minus the grass cutting? That department, everything else should be completed though, right? Or all proposals except that one?
We should have pretty much a good bit of it
All the other
proposed
departments
anyway.
should be completed, we can have all that, we just be waiting on final information, see what we want to do.
All right, so we got next, Tuesday,
But you gonna
5
get an
o'clock.
opinion from Heather on?
and then 30th on Monday.
It'll be a professional services. So grass cutting is a professional service?
Yeah, but we got next Tuesday, the 24th, we have our State Street one-way, starting at
I
5,
said
and
I
then
don't. That's
city
why I just
council
asked.
meeting on the 24th.
You know,
Which is our regular council meeting, because we're gonna push it back to the 3rd for July. And then
How long as the
30th
bids
on
come here and
city
they're
council
looked
budget.
at here? No, I would rather just do a sealed bid regardless of what Heather says. Because if we're gonna put out this dollar amount, it's just not fair to just get somebody to hand in bids and they float in, Mike. The difference is it's a sealed bid and it's open in open forum.
But what if you bring in 10 bids, 10 people bring in the bids and hand them in, and they opened already?
No, that's why they would go to Lisa.
But what I'm asking is.
Well, the difference could be, I think, what,
Somebody brings you a package, this is my bid, for 10 grass cutting the entire city,
well, but if they come,
$1 million.
if they come in a meeting and they're sitting in here and
$500,000. We bring all the bids in that we receive, this is them.
Well, you don't have to accept it if it's that kind of money.
I'm not saying we have to accept it, I'm just saying, the difference is.
the difference is whether somebody knows what the other person bid or
If
not.
this happened with Omni, Omni gave a bid, it becomes public record.
That's what I'm saying.
And then
they know
everybody
what
gets
somebody
their
else
their
bid, and
numbers.
so you come in lower,
That's right.
$5,000 lower.
And then when Trent and Heather got into this open bidding war that time, no, that's not what,
I'd
that's
rather
not what this is.
seal bids so that we can just get the proposals in, open them up, see what they got, compare them.
Yeah, that's the way we do contracting, you know,
But I mean, that's, you
it-
know,
you bring your bond
it
in.
may not
make
have to
sure
be
you have
done
your
that way,
bond
that
and
would
your
just be a council
insurance.
preference on bringing them in that way.
Then you bring them sealed and we all open them, see,
Yeah. Just to make sure everybody's on a level playing field.
That's right, and it looks honest.
Anybody can submit a bid, but.
I've lost bids because I faxed them into somebody, and they said, oh, by the way, you lost the bid because, someone else faxed in another bid, and, you know, and I said, well, I didn't know about, you know, y'all getting into the bid, well, we don't have to do that.
Right.
So we need to get a newspaper article or something out. Yep.
Yeah. All right.
So we need to put that on the agenda for next meeting.
Grass cutting proposal bids,
Grass cutting proposal bid.
but we need to come up with a number of what we're looking for,
Bid spec.
a bid spec, exactly.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah, the brief pickup too.
re-pick up too. All right, meeting adjourned. Everybody running out on me.
I'm with you, Bubba.
Forced fun. That's what this is, forced fun.
Forced fun.